What is up, everyone, and welcome to the Random Encounter Podcast, episode 156. I'm your host, James, and I'm joined by the Dress Reader Master, the dominant himself, Bryant.
Live from the Aquaria Towers.
I was going to say the Chainsaw Man, because that's a Chainsaw Man shirt, right?
It is. Yep,
Yeah.
indeed.
Still haven't watched Chainsaw Man. Everybody keeps telling me I need to watch it, so maybe one day.
Oh, it's very good.
We'll see. Is it? Did you see
Yeah,
the
I love
movie?
it. Yeah, it's fantastic. Mm-hmm.
Did you think the animation was better than Demon Slayer?
No.
No? Okay. A lot of people were saying that it's way better than Demon Slayer. It's like,
No.
I don't know, because that animation
I
of
don't
Demon
think
Slayer was
I
really
don't
good.
think the movie is better than Demon Slayer personally. Like that's definitely a hot take. Like I feel like most people are like, "Oh, Chainsaw Man's like so much better or ever," and like I kind of sound like a 12-year-old saying that Demon Slayer is better. But I was more entertained by Demon Slayer. Like I think because Demon Slayer is also like part one of like I think there's like maybe like 3 or 4 movies altogether before the series is over, and like this Chainsaw Man movie is like one piece of a more like of a bigger part, and it's like a lot more emotionally resonant between Rise and Denji. So I think they hit on different levels. I like Chainsaw Man for some things. I like Demon Slayer for other things. But overall, just from a straight up theater movie going experience, I enjoy Demon Slayer more.
Nice. And of course, we got the fanboy himself, Phaneckswhy.
What's up, guys?
You got the
Live from the Moogle
shirt.
shop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where'd you get that shirt from?
Yeti.
Yeti.
Okay. Gotcha. And then, of course, the great ace attorney, Ash Destroyum, who is back with a video.
Yes, I am. Yes, at 2 o'clock, and I talk about the Mario Galaxy trailer. It was fun.
Nice.
That was great.
And we'll be discussing a little bit of the Mario Galaxy trailer in a little bit. But before we begin all that stuff, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Follow over on Twitch. Also follow on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We do upload the podcast over there. Thank you, Bryant, for taking, all that initiative to get that on there. And let's go ahead and get started with some small news, because there's actually quite a bit of
There's
talk
some big
about
news
this week. There's, it surprised me. There's a lot of announcements that happened this week. We're going to start off with Pokotopia, because I don't think anybody cares here about that. But I think it's very interesting. So they dropped a trailer. They kind of did a deep dive. And what I didn't know at first, until after I was researching it, is the team that's working on Pokemon Pokotopia is the team behind Dragon Quest Builders. When you look at the trailer and you kind of look at the world design, they look very similar. I was like, okay, it makes sense. For those of you who don't know what Pokemon Pokotopia is, it's kind of like a almost like a farming sim kind of, but there's objectives there. And if you ever played Dragon Quest Builders, you kind of know what you're going to get into, because Dragon Quest Builders was really fun. I'm personally not a farming sim person anymore. I used to love Harvest Moon. And Stardew Valley, I didn't mind. I don't know. I don't play those games as much anymore. But I did love Dragon Quest Builders. And Dragon Quest Builders is very similar to Minecraft, but very similar to all these other farming sims, except that it has combat, which is why I like Builders. So I'm very interested to see how that turns out. I don't know if it's a day one buy. There's also a lot of controversy because it is confirmed to be a game key card, which is kind of weird because it is a first party Nintendo title, even though it's being developed by or co-developed with Koei Tecmo. So I wonder if they somehow have a reason to putting it on a game key card, or if Nintendo's just trying to push digital altogether. Don't know about that, but that is very interesting there. Mario Galaxy movie. Yes. There was a trailer for the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and what do you guys think about it so far?
Ash?
Yeah, sure. The movie looks amazing. I mean, I listen. I'm always gonna be a Sunshine Boy first before Galaxy, but I'm not gonna straight up lie to you and say that the movie's trash. The teaser looks trash. Everything about it looks amazing, including with the casting choices that they made. I know they announced Brie Larson as Rosalina, which I don't know. I do not know how the climate is in the social media world on how
I don't
they
care
think about that. But I don't give a damn. And in our video I said that you can't judge an actor based on one character they did in the past, because I think she had controversies around playing as Captain Marvel from the MCU verse. But I feel like she probably had really good roles before she had that character in the first place. So yeah. I'm not even going to be.
I loved her as Captain Marvel personally.
She was like meh for me, but like I didn't care if she was bad in one role, because if she has a lot of good roles, but that she had that one okay role, that doesn't make her a bad actor. So
I
She
think it
I
was
was
know
more
there's
of
Academy
the.
Award.
I think it
yeah,
was
I don't
more
know.
of
I
the
know there's
writing for Captain
plenty
Marvel.
of haters out there hating on her being Rosalina, but I bet you 90% that when people first heard her voice, they're like, "Oh, she sounds pretty good," and then when Brie Larson came in, they're like, "Oh, it's her," you know. So I'm not gonna even listen to all that noise, you know.
You know, what's
I never
funny
heard
is
of Benny. What's up?
I think she said that she wanted to play live action Samus.
Yep, she did. She's like a hardcore gamer, like hardcore Nintendo gamer.
Mhm.
Like there's lots of pictures of her
That's cool.
playing games and going to Super Mario, Super Nintendo World and playing
Mhm.
Animal Crossing, and like she's a big Nintendo fangirl. So again, I think it's great that she got the role and
Yeah.
she looks the part, she sounds the part. Like I think it all fits.
Yeah,
Mm.
I
I mean,
am pretty sure she's gonna nail it just fine. I feel like it's the same thing with the Chris Pratt situation when that first came out. People were thinking that he's gonna be a bad Mario, but when the actual movie came out,
Mhm.
people just switched up. All of a sudden, I'm like, yeah,
I
it's
think they
gonna
were
be one of
just
those.
He's
It's
fatigued
gonna be
fine.
with
one of those things again.
Chris Pratt. That's the thing. They were fatigued because he's like in everything. And what was it? There wasn't there another like animated movie he was in like right before Mario
Yeah.
Galaxy or Super Mario
yeah, it
movie?
was the one
Yeah.
with him and Tom Holland
Oh, Tom
when they're
Holland. That's
brothers.
right.
They're like
Ah,
elves.
Oh, are they blue?
Yeah,
Oh,
not
it's like
Smurfs.
Unbound or something like that, or
was,
whatever.
wait, the other guy was Tom
Oh,
Holland?
the Pixar movie or the Disney
The
movie.
Pixar one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah,
another
I'll
guy.
look it up.
Oh, it is Tom Holland. Now I remember. Okay, makes sense.
Onward.
Onward. Yeah,
Yep.
that was actually good. Like it was really
I
good.
never watched that one. I should probably
Honestly, I
watch
mean,
that.
I understand the Chris Pratt fatigue stuff, but like, I mean, I don't know, man.
Well, it's kind of like Pedro Pascal being in everything now. It's like,
Yeah.
he's everywhere.
They take their turns.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But overall, the teaser was really fun to watch. The biggest thing, the biggest thing, the Sunshine was almost pretty much Bowser Jr. going through the whole transformation with his paintbrush and everything.
Mhm.
Which in the video, I only watched the trailer once, so I was going on based off memory. I don't think it's going to be more close to Shadow Mario. I think it's going to be more closer to the cosmic side, because in Galaxy 1, you there's these prankster comets you do, and one of the challenges is racing Cosmic Mario instead of Shadow Mario or something
Mhm.
like that. And I'm thinking what might have happened is that Bowser Jr., since he couldn't beat Rosalina to begin with from the trailer, he went back to the cosmos and tried to get some power from there to see if he can buff himself up and be a fighting chance against Rosalina and the gang and stuff. So I feel like he probably grabbed a power star from one of those prankster comets, which resembles the cosmic like entity, similar to Cosmo Mario. And I feel like that's the power that he got from there, not the whole paint stuff, if anything. Because if they're trying to explain that the paint stuff came from somewhere else, then that's going to be a bit of a weird continuity they have to come up with for the most part. So
Mhm.
yeah. But yeah,
Well-
that's about it. I love the whole thing. I love how Bowser and Luigi are like best buddies. And then when when the Bowser looks at Mario, I honestly I love Illumination Studios like own twists when it comes to writing some of these characters. Like on how they made Luigi like a counselor to Bowser. I love that too. It's great. So, but
Well,
But yeah,
were you
that's
gonna
about
say
it.
something, fan, earlier?
No, I was just gonna talk about the Chris Pratt thing.
Oh, okay. What were you
It's
gonna
the same
say?
thing.
Oh,
No, that like with people hating on Brie Larson, it's like the same thing with Chris Pratt when he was cast as Mario. Everyone was just like casting out on it. So you never know how it's gonna be until you actually see the final product.
yeah.
yeah, like I said, I don't
Yeah.
know how the landscape is in the social media verse because again, I don't really go on. I don't know if you guys see that often on Twitter or something like that.
I
Mainly
usually
Twitter.
ignore it. Like
Yeah.
I don't pay any mind. Like I'm like it's either gonna be good or not. Like we'll wait till the final product and hear it.
Yeah.
To be frank, like the teaser trailer we did get for the Super Mario movie, the initial one, where I think where Chris Pratt says "Let's go," it didn't sound that great. But then when the movie came out, everything was actually really good. So I don't know. It's just like early. They just put in like early voice lines and that's it. And then they kind of like
Probably.
change it
First
up later
takes.
on. Yeah, exactly. So we'll wait to see. I'm excited for it. It's one of those things that I feel like there is some big shoes to fill because even though it is the second movie and you think they will learn and make it better, sometimes that's not always the case. Sometimes they're actually worse than the previous one that came before. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. There's also. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Are we gonna change topics or are we still talking about that?
Well, I was going to change to a different topic, but go ahead if you have something else to say.
Yeah, I wanted to say something about the Mario movie.
Yeah.
So I thought the original Mario movie was good. It
Mhm.
was a good, solid, safe family affair that if you didn't come out of there at least be like, oh, that was cute. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's good. Like then, check something out about yourself, I guess. But it wasn't a masterpiece Nintendo movie by any stretch of the it
Yeah.
wasn't a masterpiece film by any stretch of the imagination. It was probably considered like a masterpiece as far as video game movies go, but it was good. For Super Mario Galaxy movie, they have so much stuff they can work with. I mean, between Rosalina, I love that part with where they were flying and you saw that one planet from Mario Galaxy, like water one planet, that water planet, like that looked really awesome in the movie. The comedy is going to be there. I really think Brie Larson's going to knock it out of the park as Rosalina. The humor, like Ash was saying with like Bowser being small and Luigi, and kind of like there's a lot of room there for like them to go like off of each other, like back and forth and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be good. I don't have any expectations really. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
On a quick side note before we switch topics, Expedition 33 finished pretty quick.
There we go.
That was a good
are we
10
changing
minutes or so.
Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Are we changing topics to another movie?
Yes, there is a leak of another movie that came out. They did show off some footage, or at least not so much footage, but somebody, I guess, recorded footage of what seems to be the filming of Zelda. And it seems interesting, and it looks like there is an Impa, even though I don't think it was ever confirmed that Impa was in there, but it looks like there is Impa.
It looks like her.
Yeah, and like the design and everything, white hair. We see the actress who plays Zelda, which I forgot what her name is, but she's there dressed up in what looks to be almost like, I guess, the Breath of the Wild type like clothes. Not exactly
The
one
blue
to one,
tunic,
but
yeah.
very similar. Yeah. And then there's Impa, which this Impa looks to be more design of the design of Skyward Sword Impa, with the younger version, not the older one, because there's two versions of Impa there. So yeah, pretty cool. I'm still worried about the Zelda movie. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not sure about the live action Zelda movie, but hopefully it's good. We'll see, because every time I think of live action, Sonic is not included because Sonic is like animated, right? They don't have a live
Sonic's
hedgehog
good, too.
that can talk. And Sonic is good, yes. But like when I think live action, like video game adaptations, I think like Resident
Mario movie.
Evil. Not even a Mario movie. I think
The
Resident
ori-
Evil movies.
the original-
90s Mario movie.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
90s Mario
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mario
With
movie.
Bob Hoskins and
Yeah.
John Leguizamo.
Well, I was going to say, like, I don't think of that, because like I think the last time I saw that was when I was a kid, and
You
when
think
I
of,
was
like,
a kid,
Resident
I thought it was
Evil?
cool. But I think of Resident Evil, like how bad
Mm.
that was. Even then, I think like
Okay.
the Mario movie is more tolerable than the Resident Evil movies, and I think part of it's just because the lore, they added superpowers and all this other weird stuff. Technically, Resident Evil Village.
Wait, you're
now
saying the
has
Resident Evil movies
superpowers.
are better than the original 90s Mario movie?
I think so. Yeah.
No,
Oh no,
this is
not
the-
better.
oh,
They're not
you do?
better.
Okay.
The Mario movie's better than the Resident Evil movies.
Oh, really? Because like in the
Okay,
Mario movie,
yeah.
like it's about like de-evolution and like the de-evolution gun and the Goombas are all
Yeah.
creepy. I don't know. I never saw the Resident Evil movies, so I guess I can't talk. But man, that Mario movie was awful.
I'm just not a fan of where it went. It just wasn't
Okay.
really Resident Evil for me. Yeah, so we'll wait and see how that goes. I'm still excited to see. I mean, hopefully,
I think
they
it'll
I
be
mean,
make
great.
as long as it
Mhm.
don't make Zelda like the typical damsel in distress.
No,
No, I don't
they're
think
gonna
they
make
would
her
do that.
badass. They're gonna make her like
Because
look
they're
at,
gonna make her like Princess Peach. You know,
Yeah.
No,
I mean, they don't have to do
like
the
they gotta
exact
make
same
it to where she can
thing.
take care of herself. She's trained by freaking Impa. She needs
That's
to be
why
able to like
it's
take care of
Breath of the
herself.
Wild.
But she's
That's
not.
why it's
She's
Breath of
not
the Wild
trained by
Zelda.
Impa.
But even
Impa's
the Breath of the
her
Wild version
retainer.
was still a, damsel in distress.
I mean, at least she tried. From
Yeah.
what I remember, Breath of the Wild at least tried.
Like the
you
only
know?
the only Zelda that really was like there was technically, it wasn't even Princess Zelda. It was technically Queen Zelda because she was in charge of the kingdom. Was Twilight Princess, and she was the only one that.
How about
was
Age of
gonna fight.
Calamity Zelda?
I mean, Age of Calamity is not canon, so
Wait,
everybody
no, I
fights
thought it
in
was- I thought
there.
it was canon.
Not Age of
It's
Calamity. No. Mm-mm. Yeah,
No,
Age of
no,
Calamity is not. Age of What's the new one?
The one that just came out, isn't it called Age of Calamity?
No, that's it.
No,
that's
that's called
Age of Imprisonment.
Age of Imprisonment.
Age
Yeah.
of Imprisonment.
Okay, that's what I meant. Age of Imprisonment. Isn't Age of Imprisonment
That
canon?
is
'Cause
canon,
she's a
yeah.
fighter in that. She's
I
fighting
guess
like
yeah.
crazy.
There's that one. I guess that counts too. Yeah, but that's not the one that like I don't think she doesn't use a sword in there, right? Isn't she just using like magic powers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she
using
she
her
used
magic
some sort
powers.
of tome, I think. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or the
I see you're
Sheikah Slate?
like,
Did she use the Sheikah Slate a little bit, or I don't know.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, it's the Sheikah Slate that she's using. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where in Twilight Princess she has the sword. Remember like that scene where
Mhm.
what's the wizard guy? Shoot, I
the
forgot
bad
what his
guy.
name is. Yeah. Not
I don't
Ganondorf,
remember.
but like the one that's like trying to resurrect or like free Ganondorf. I forgot what his
I
name
don't remember.
is. Um Shoot, but anyways, he's like he walks in there.
Zant.
Zant, there we go. Yeah. Where Zant walks into the castle and then like basically just starts destroying everybody and she's like, "Okay, I can't do anything." Um
I
mhm.
I think that Link and Zelda and Impa look incredible in that leaked footage. I think it looks great, like as well as you could
Mhm.
expect, if not better.
Did they
in my
show Link?
opinion.
I didn't see
Yeah,
Link
I
in the
saw Link.
footage. There was?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't
Mhm.
see that one. I only saw Zelda and Impa. I didn't see Link. It's gonna be interesting to see. I wonder how it goes. I wonder if Link
I didn't think
talks.
there was like already leaked stuff for that. I mean, that's
There
It was
is.
just
interesting.
like a day or two ago.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Because like the only things I saw so far was the Mario stuff and the Toy Story 5, which that confused the hell out of everybody with Toy Story 5.
Well, because yeah, 4 had an ending, and now there's a new
Yeah.
Toy
No,
Story.
3 had an ending. 4 we can pretend it didn't need to exist. Not to mention the end of 4, Woody and Bo Peep like go off and live happily ever after, and
Yeah.
they're like just back all together again. How did that happen? And I'm sure there'll be some convoluted answer. Anyway, I
Same
think
video
yeah,
was
I
all
we
had
should end it
a
with 3.
I had a conversation with my sister about that recently, and I told her like I was trying to spin this up the best way I can for them, but I was saying, hey, like since Woody was a rare toy, maybe there's an off chance that Bonnie's mom bought like a rare Woody toy on accident at some random garage sale. So I'm like essentially using like elements from older movies like Toy Story 2 on how Woody actually threw himself into a garage sale, and Bob from Bob's for Toys bought him, or he didn't buy him, he stole him actually.
Yeah.
This
So
is getting
I just-
there's some lore here, man.
yeah, so I'm trying to come up like a way on how this makes sense, and I feel like they're probably going to retcon Toy Story 4, pretend it never happened, and say, hey, Toy Story 5 is the new Toy Story 4. But
Mhm.
we're not
Yeah,
VJs,
I
so
liked
let's
4,
just
but
calm
it's
down.
not 3.
Yeah.
All right, let's start going ahead and talking about one of our main topics. That is Metroid Prime 4. Since we're on the topic of Nintendo, Metroid Prime 4 got a new trailer. Plus, there's actually impressions for Metroid Prime 4, and it seems overall to be positive in the sense like it seems to be Metroid Prime 4. But the downside is people are complaining that there seems to be a Navi-like indie game. Now, I've heard a bunch of theories. Some people are saying that this Navi-like is just one person, and they're not throughout the whole game. They just happen to be like so let me backtrack a little bit. The trailer shows off Samus and talks about like the overall story where you start off, there's an invasion, and then you kind of get teleported to an unknown world. But you're not the only one that got teleported to that world. There are people from the Earth Federation Force that are also teleported there, and on your journey, you're going to encounter them. One of them happens to be, I forget what his name is, but some guy that basically just narrates everything for you. Like, hey, Samus, look, there's something over there. I think we can open this door or whatever. And a lot of people were very annoyed about that one, or about that guy. And, rightfully so, because a lot of people were annoyed by Navi constantly saying, hey, listen. Me personally, I was never annoyed. I didn't care about that. That stuff doesn't bother me. But when
His
somebody's
name is
constantly
Miles.
telling you, what's his name? Miles?
Miles.
Okay, Miles. So with something is like constantly telling you and like solving the puzzle for you, it kind of like defeats the purpose. But I think he's only like your beginner person that you run into, and then after that, you'll see all these other soldiers because you can look like there's a bunch of different like objectives. Like one of them is you have to defend one of the soldiers because a bunch of the pirates are attacking him, and you see they on your screen he has a health bar on the top left, and you're going ahead fighting. So I think there's going to be different versions, and they're not all going to be like him, but who knows? But so far, the people who did preview the game, they were complaining about that. Outside of that, it just seems like it is a Metroid Prime game, and everything about it has been good. Did you guys see any of the previews or listen to any of your previews or watch the new trailer at all?
Yeah, I watched the new preview, and it looks pretty damn good. And I keep forgetting the fact that that I think that would be like technically the first official Nintendo Switch game that's going to run at 120 FPS in performance mode. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm probably going to try that mode first before I do 4K 60.
Yeah. The first
But
120 in both dock and handheld.
you sure?
Yep, it's 120.
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah, it is.
720,
Yeah,
120 in
yeah,
handheld,
and
and then 1080,
1080p,
120
120,
in
and
dock.
720.
Mhm.
Yeah, makes sense. But like, the only thing I'm kind of just, I'm like, I'm a bit picky about this. I really wish Nintendo would have like released Metroid Prime 2 and 3 before 4 comes out. But I wonder if 4, is not actually after 3 nor after 2. I hope that's really the case there. I think there was something about like a certain character in there that's not supposed to be there. Or isn't this character's name is Silex?
Yeah.
Silex or whatever?
Silas.
So
yeah.
Silex never appeared in 2 and 3, right?
Mm-mm.
So I'm really hoping this particular game is like after 1 or something.
Well, technically, the ending of 3 he appeared. So like, there's like a not a secret ending, but like a post credit scene, and he appears. His ship appears at least. But the only Metroid Prime game he was in was Metroid Prime Hunters on the DS.
Yeah, which that was on the DS. So, but yeah, it's just I don't know if Nintendo's going to do anything about 2 and 3 at this point, because you're going to release Metroid Prime 1 remastered, and then not release the two other games and stuff. I'm just really hoping 4 actually takes place right after 1. That's all I'm asking. Okay, so that way people are not as confused and like what's going on. I don't know if the Metroid stories are that confusing. I mean, to me, they never were. Nah. Honestly, because I'm the same guy that played.
That way because the fact that it's called Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 3
5,
was a prequel.
2, 1, and 3. I'm just hoping Nintendo did the same thing for that. I don't know.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 3 was a prequel. Metal Gear Solid 5 takes place before.
Yeah.
Also 1, 2, and 3. It's weird. It's like the order technically is 3. Then you have Portable Ops, Peace Walker, then 5, then Metal Gear, Metal Gear 2, then Metal Gear Solid 2, and then Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, and I'm just hoping they did it that way, I guess.
That's
but
not
probably not.
Product.
That's true. That's Kojima. He likes to make things
Kojima
complicated. Thing. Like Death Stranding 3 is going to be a prequel to Death Stranding 1.
No, if you beat Death Stranding 2, it's not going to be a prequel. Like they made it kind of clear where it's going.
You never know.
It's
Kojima.
If
they made Metal Gear Solid 2 clear where it was going.
I mean, what
not
they
really
might do? No, what they might do with 4 is that they'll probably be like last time on 2 and 3, same as did this and that or something. I hope they do something like that at least.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. That's the only thing. Everything else looks cool. I never got annoyed by the Miles thing and stuff because I'm just like, okay. Hopefully, at the very beginning, he's there for that. He looks like it's a tutorial navigator and stuff. And once you're done, then you can just ignore him for the rest of the game. I hope it's like that.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah, it could just be like a tutorial thing.
Like press A to open the door or something like that.
Yeah, I it's just hasn't Nintendo learned anything? When has it ever happened where anybody that critiqued Metroid said, "You know what? I'm so lost. There needs to be NPCs that tell us what to do." Like the whole point of Metroid is getting lost in a foreign planet, not knowing where you are, what you're doing. I mean, you know what your overall mission is, but you go into like it's inhabited, unexplored place. You fill in your map. You see creatures. Like the whole point of Metroid is the isolation. Like I remember playing the original Metroid Prime on GameCube back in like what was it 04, 05, whenever it came out, or 03, I don't remember. And I was just so enamored with how isolated I felt. Like I felt like I was on that alien planet documenting things. It was just so like cool. It was just so unlike anything else I'd ever really played at that point. And then 2 comes out, and 2 is like really hard, and that kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, Ash, with why don't they release 2 and 3? And it's just, I can't imagine being somebody that's new to the series and I'm just gonna let's just say it's like, I don't know, a 15 or 16-year-old that never owned it, wasn't even like alive when the GameCube was a thing or whatever. I'm gonna go buy Metroid Prime 4. Metroid Prime is on Switch. I can play that, but like It's not even like they could have just named it, Metroid Beyond. They added or Metroid Prime Beyond, like, because then they could have like had a soft reboot kind of thing, and then like, 2 and 3 isn't required knowledge. No, they called this Metroid Prime 4, which then leads players that aren't as old as us, or people that don't know as much about the series as us, to like, yo, like, where's 2 and 3? And the fact that they never released those games, or they've never announced any intention on announcing those games, it's just so infuriating to me, because it's like Metroid Prime is one of the best series of games like ever created. I mean, Metroid Prime 1 certainly is. 2 is really good. It's just really hard. I never played 3, but I heard really great things about it. And 4 looks really promising as well. And so it's just so crazy to me that they're not jumping on this. And I swear to God, if they release 2 Echoes as a damn Nintendo Switch Online GameCube release, I'm gonna lose it, because then that means, okay, they're gonna do 3 eventually, and that'll be a purchase. So you're gonna have 1 and 3 and 4 that are purchasable, and 2 that are just locked into GameCube world forever. And it's the same thing with Wind Waker. The fact that Wind Waker isn't available to purchase, it's just available to play on the GameCube Switch Online thing. It's just, they're leaving so much money on the table, and it's just awful for people that like want to own this stuff as opposed to just like play it and stream it. Now, when it comes to Miles, again, I just go back to what I said before about like they started doing this narrative crap in Metroid Fusion, where you'd get to like that little you'd go into the room, and then you'd connect to the computer, and then the computer's name was Adam, I think, and then Adam would talk to you, and there'd be like some narrative stuff there. Yeah, and like it wasn't like, it was a little annoying. It gave you some flavor to the world. It wasn't that bad. But again, I play Metroid for the isolation, but it was okay, because there was like some story stuff, and you get some insights into the world, and some exposition and stuff like that. But then Metroid Other M came out, and that was the thing that everybody complained about, was just how much talking there was. Like, that's what everybody complained about. Nobody, as far as I know, I think the only other complaint I heard about Metroid Other M was just the fact that it was like the pointer and then like one button. It was just a very simplistic control, and it didn't always work. But as far as like any other critiques, it was all about the freaking talking, and the Samus calling, what was it, like there's like a nickname for him or for her that was like the child or the baby. No, that was Metroid. Anyways, there was some nickname that was like annoying in the game that they kept calling something. Okay, so like James said, I hope he's right that it's just the talking is limited to specific sections. Like in the beginning of the game, Miles maybe is like, hey, shoot that door over there to open it. And I just kind of roll my eyes. Like, I've been doing this since I was 5 years old, and you're telling me to shoot the damn door again. Look at the yellow paint where the door is. That's where you have to go in this cave. And I'm just like, dude, like, fine, whatever. But we'll see what happens. I still think it's going to be great. I have it pre-ordered already. I'm going to use a Nintendo Switch voucher on it and upgrade it for Switch 2. But I won't lie and say that I wasn't a little bummed out by those previews, what people were saying about it. I didn't watch anything because it's coming out in like 3 weeks, so I want to be surprised as much as I can.
I want to add some things to what Brian was saying about Metro Other M, because I think I feel like if they're thinking Miles is annoying, I feel like it was the Colonel that kept talking to Samus constantly.
You can't use those powers.
Throughout the entire game, and I feel like he's a lot more annoying compared to Miles or whatever. And I feel like Miles, like I say, he's like a tutorial and a navigator in a way. And I have a roommate that like really loves Metro Other M, and he told me one of his favorite things about that game is mainly like the finishers that Samus does. Like, there was like so many finishers that you can do and everything.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, I feel like in Other M, that was like the biggest dumb thing, was the Colonel just constantly talking to you 24/7. So, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, I don't understand how Nintendo can keep ongoing stuff. Again, I think the game's going to be great, but it's just optically, you put the press down, and these people that are previewing this game, you set them down with the game, and this is the character. I mean, if you just look at him, he's just like this dorky, just awful aesthetically looking character with like the glasses, and he's like, oh, did I slip on the banana peel again? Like, just kind of like the stereotypical nerd, like, oh, I lost my glasses, I gotta find my glasses. Oh, Samus, make sure you shoot that door. It's just, the look isn't great. Like, even if it would have been like a gruff, like Colonel-esque kind of character, or like somebody in like a superior, like a person of power, I could have maybe even dealt with that a little bit better than just this like nerdy dorky guy who's talking to the silent protagonist like he knows anything, compared to her, who's been to like all these planets and done all these bounties and fought Mecha Ridley and ridded the world of Mother Brain and has, had her suit turned into Parasite X or Weapon X or whatever. Like she's done all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, that dorky guy with the glasses, he's gonna be able to teach me something. It's just like, give me a break, man. Like, come on.
It kind of feels like that he's constantly backseat gaming you constantly. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I found the laser beam.
Yeah, sorry about that. I was coughing.
Oh!
I needed some water.
OG Willikers.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's not the case where like this guy's there, or it's too easy, like you were mentioning earlier, where it's kind of like hand holding you all the time. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D has a feature where by default the markers are shut off to tell you where to go. Because the original Dragon Quest 3, you had to talk to like every NPC to find out where your next step is, or where you need to go, what town you need to go to. I was playing yesterday, and I was Jipang, which is basically Japan in Dragon Quest.
Yeah. I can never get over that name.
Yep. But it's called Jipang, and I was over there, and like after that, I was like, man, I forgot what I'm supposed to do, because it's been a while since I played Dragon Quest 3. So I decided to turn on the markers, and then I just remember, oh yeah, I was supposed to go here. I gotta wait till nighttime so I can go here and get the orb from this town and stuff. So I like it as an optional feature to help you figure out where to go. Like I think that should be the case. I know they want to cater to new people, but kind of like Fire Emblem and like a bunch of other games, put a feature there that does help newcomers or people who want an easy mode. At the same time, let people who want
Make
the
it
original
optional.
experience, exactly. Let people who want the original experience, get the original experience.
We didn't have that growing up. I was
Mhm.
6 years old playing Super Metroid, and you know what? I could beat Super Metroid now probably in like a few hours, if you just like
Mhm.
sat me down and played it. But when I was a kid, like 7 years old, it took me months to beat Super Metroid, and that was
Yep.
okay. Like that's fine. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and not everything needs to be handheld. I mean, look at Breath of the Wild. It did a
Right.
good job of kind of being like, here you are, figure it out on your own. Tears of the Kingdom, not as much. There was actually set places to go, and they kind of guided you a little bit more. But I would prefer something like that. So let's find. Hopefully, it's good, and we'll have to wait and see how that is. All right, moving on to the next topic. That is PlayStation. PlayStation had a direct, and yeah, like it was interesting. A lot of
It's
people did
fine.
not like it. It was a Japanese direct, so set to cater to the Japanese audience, and rightfully so, because what was shown there was Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, which we all know is huge in Japan. And honestly, I am very surprised that trailer was shown, because for those of you who've never played Dragon Quest VII, you're gonna be, oh, okay, this is cool. There's a new story set with one of the characters. But the biggest thing, and I might as well spoil it because it's already spoiled in the trailer. The biggest thing about Dragon Quest VII was that character, Kiefer.
what the Team America looking guy?
Yeah, the Team America looking guy.
Okay.
He leaves your party. So he's kind of like an Aerith or a bunch of other characters where halfway through the game, like he's in your party the whole time. Great like DPS, he does a lot of damage. Halfway through the game, he just leaves. That's it. I'm not going to say exactly why, because that I want you guys to see that, figure that out on your own. But he leaves and he never comes back to your party. He's done. So you lose that character forever. And now people are kind of upset because he's back. And, of course, you see him, but he's older. And again, I'm not going to spoil exactly what's the reason behind that, but he comes back later on. And it looks like he's not there forever. And I'm not exactly sure if that's the case, because the trailer didn't mention that or not the trailer, there's a press release that mentioned that he's not there forever, but there's a bunch of like main story quests that he will be there in your party. And it seems like he's super powered up too, which is kind of cool. Yeah, fun fact, it seems that a lot of people think that he's related to the heroes of Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3. So we'll see. He's part of the lineage of Erdrick. Supposedly. There is no connection between 7 and 1, 2, 3 yet officially, but that's the theory behind that. But yeah, that was one of the games they showed off. They also announced another beta not beta, but closed beta for Marvel Token. I can't believe I forgot the name.
Fighters.
Token Fighters. There we go.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, showed off some new levels. They actually look really good. Like the new levels are pretty dope. A lot of people are sad because there is the X-Men. What is the mansion called? Isn't it just
The
called?
X Mansion,
Isn't this what it's just called? X Mansion?
or like
Isn't it called
Professor
something-
Xavier's school for
Yeah.
gifted
School?
youngsters or
Yeah.
whatever.
Isn't it called something Academy or something?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Mutant
the name.
Academy?
Mutant Academy, maybe. I forgot what it is. But anyways, they showed that off, and people were sad because it shows Nightcrawler in the background, and we
He's
all
not in it
know
then.
if a character is in the background, then they're more than likely not going to be a playable character in the game. Real quick, Terrorist on Twitch says, I mean, to be fair, back in the day, we had extensive written game guides as well, and they was written on paper. True, that is true. There was a bunch of guides back then, depending on the time, and you could purchase guides as well,
I
but they
didn't have a
weren't
guide
readily
for Super
available.
Metroid.
Huh?
I didn't have a guide for Super Metroid or Link
Yeah,
to
I
the
don't,
Past.
I
or
don't
anything.
even know
I
if there
just
was
figured
an
it out.
official guide for Super Metroid itself. I know there were guides out there because there is a guide for Earthbound that is actually digital. If you go to, I forget what the website is. I have it saved on my phone. There's a website you can go to, and they have original like Super Nintendo and NES games. They have guides, and like Earthbound is there, so you have all pages scanned in digitally, and it's officially by Nintendo.
Yeah, for the
too.
dumb Americans. It came with the game, I think, because like Americans weren't experienced enough with RPGs, so they included the guide with the game or something like that, I think, if I remember correctly.
Okay, that also makes sense. But yeah, going back to that PlayStation Japanese Direct, I think those two were really the highlights. Some of the other games they showed off weren't for me. I don't know if you guys want to highlight any of the games. I'm not going to mention all the games they
I'm
mentioned.
trying to remember.
I forgot.
It wasn't that great.
Wasn't
Yeah,
that
because
great.
I watched the entire thing, and to be
I
honest,
remember
with you,
they
James,
showed like was it Fatal Frame?
Yeah,
They
they,
did.
they,
Yep.
they showed a Fatal Frame remake and stuff, which I'm like, oh,
which
that's
was
cool,
announced
that's
at a
interesting.
Nintendo Direct earlier, I believe. Mhm.
I would say the biggest highlight for me from that state of play was literally the Dragon Quest thing. That was pretty much it. Because I actually got more hyped about the game over time as well. So and I might also pick that one up day one too. So
The
there was
Marvel
other
Fighters one
games that they
was
showed that were interesting.
interesting.
I could tell you that much, but it wasn't enough for them to be rememberable for me. Maybe the Fatal Frame one, because I always wanted to get into the series and stuff, but I just didn't know where to start.
There's
you know?
also
But,
Elden Ring Night Rain DLC.
Night Rain.
Yeah. Oh god.
yeah, I'm like, damn, man, like
They are milking it.
Hey, people love it. I understand, but I thought that when they first released Night Rain, I thought that'll be the end of it. But no, they're gonna keep cranking out some DLCs for it. So it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Elden Ring is Elden Ring. Not a bad game, but I think there'll come a time where people are just tired of it.
Yeah, they don't want to.
Elden Ring fatigue.
Yeah.
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 I will say one thing that was really like so awful about that state of play was when they were like, our partners at Square Enix have an announcement regarding a beloved IP, and it was the stupid Octopath Traveler 0 demo whatever, and I'm just like, dude, how can you say something like that? Like nobody, I mean, like Octopath Traveler 0 is like going to be good, and Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 are very good games. They're great even, but like, you don't watch a state of play for something that's already been announced. Octopath Traveler 0 was announced like months ago or whatever that it was coming. It's like, don't say crap like that. Like don't bury the lead. Don't say, oh, we have an exciting announcement from Square Enix. Here's ... Octopath 0. It should be like, oh, and we have some new information about Octopath 0. Like they should just announce it like that. So I thought that was kind of a low point for sure, because that got me hyped, and I wasn't the only one that thought that.
Yeah, a lot of people were thinking Kingdom Hearts 4.
Yeah, exactly, or anything like
You're right,
anything but that. Blaze Blue Entropy Effect is coming to consoles. I haven't played it. I own it on Steam, but that's supposed to be pretty decent.
I think you
they
played a
announced
fan,
this.
didn't you? Fan?
What?
You played that
What?
Blaze Blue Entropy Effect?
No.
No? Okay, I thought you got it. Okay.
Let's see. I'm just going. Oh, Gran Turismo 7 has some paid DLC. Dynasty Warriors Origins. Dynasty Warriors Oranges. That would be interesting.
Maybe some orange. Oh, there's orange.
Just throw some citrus at people.
Yeah, orange is great, man. I don't know.
Yeah, that's getting a paid DLC. But yeah, I'm just looking through this. Like beyond that, like there were a couple like okay looking things or whatever, but it's just I don't know.
I agree. I mean, the Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined stuff was cool.
But they already announced that though.
They did, yeah. Well, that part was like more again, I think that's spoiler, and a lot of people, even if you look in the Dragon Quest community, are like, why would you do that? Because an important part of that story is that happening. And when Dragon Quest Seven Remake was done for 3DS, they also kept that quiet, not to spoil the fact that he leaves your party, but to spoil it that and even say, oh yeah, he leaves your party, but guess what? You'll be able to play with him anyways. Well, dude, come on, that's like I don't know how to put it. I mean, I guess maybe they thought because everybody knows that Aerith dies, they knew he leaves your party, and I don't think that's the case because Dragon Quest Seven is nowhere near
that's
as
a lie.
popular.
Yeah, that's a lie. Listen, everyone knowing the Aerith dies, that's like a whole that's worldwide. But when it comes to Dragon Quest, there's only going to be specific people that already know about that.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know about it, Fan didn't know about it, and most certainly Brian didn't know about it. So and the thing is, and the thing is too, you got to remember that I think the reason why they probably went with that in the first place because the last time they did it was with Dragon Quest 1 and 2, where they introduced a new character for the Dragon Quest 2 party and stuff. So so I think in their head they're like, maybe okay, since they like that reveal, maybe we can do the same thing for this one character that's like plays a very, very integral part of the story. And it's like 50-50 because somebody like me didn't know about that, but somebody like you is like, the hell, why would you do that? You know? So it's like it's kind of like right in the middle. Still 50%.
But like two is not that bad because that person, right? Like it's not a big deal whether they're in your party or not. It's kind of cool, right? But it's not like a spoiler. Like, oh, this person joins your party. I mean, I guess it kind of is, maybe, but I just think this is a bigger spoiler. That's like, I don't know. That's like your first time watching Dragon Ball Z.
Because I do remember that character. I played Dragon Quest 2 and stuff. So, and I feel like it was like a nice add-on, like a nice addition to
exactly.
It. But 7, from what you're saying, it's not really like that at all because they kind of just, in a way, from based on what you're saying, it kind of sounds like they made Dragon Quest 7 a bit more easier than its predecessor.
Yeah, that's what it's sounding like, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean, they said they streamlined a lot of things. They took away some stuff that didn't make sense, but they added a bunch of stuff to it as well. I'm still kind of worried, like what they mean about streamline. There's a lot of negative stuff going on with this right now. Another thing is the job classes. So you do get job classes. And the funny thing is, job classes in Dragon Quest 7, original Dragon Quest 7, you don't get that until almost like 60, 70 hours into the game. You unlock job classes, and it's like a whole new game just opens up because you get all these job classes. But in Dragon Quest 7, you're able to go ahead and like when you swap your jobs, your outfits change. Kind of like Final Fantasy, right? You get like different outfits and stuff. In Reimagine, we already seen the job swapping, and you do not swap clothes. You just have the default like protagonist clothes. And a lot of people are kind of upset at that because that brought some flavor to it. There were some cool clothes, is like when you're like a ninja type, you look more like a ninja and so forth. So and I agree. Like I would like to see them change their outfits, like Final Fantasy or any other game that has job classes has done before it. But I guess to be fair, which is why I'm not as upset. I understand that they made dolls and they scanned those dolls in, so they would have to do dolls for every single job class and all the different varieties for each of the main characters. And yeah, that's I don't think that's really doable. I mean, it's doable, but probably not efficient in the case of this. So, yeah, but that's not the only announcements PlayStation had. Oh man, these next two announcements, a lot of people were very angry. Starting off with the first one.
I was hoping for good things, but
no. Some people are very upset. The first announcement is PlayStation has announced a brand new Horizon game. And this Horizon game is not coming to PS5.
Wait.
Yeah.
Are we done with the state of play? Because there was something from there I think that's worth mentioning.
Oh, go ahead.
What, the app?
I'm just kidding.
What'd you say?
I said the app?
No, that monitor that
the monitor,
that PlayStation branded monitor, which I don't understand. It's first of all, it's 1440p, which I would think it would be 4K because, like, I mean, I know you can display a PS5 at 1440, but at this point, it's like, I don't know. I know it's smaller, so you probably the human eye probably can't do too much with 4K at that point. But and then it's also an IPS. like I don't get that. And like the little cradle thing for holding your controller is pretty nice and stuff, and they'll pair with those PlayStation speakers. So I'm
Mhm.
sure like if somebody got those two speakers and the monitor and everything, and I'm sure like a decent little setup or whatever, but at some point it's just like I'd rather just like sit on a couch and have a big screen TV, and like, if you have like a desk setup, I guess that would work, but I just think there's probably better options
Mhm.
from a monitor standpoint than that. I
I
mean, it
think
doesn't have the charging dock, but I don't know.
I think like to put into perspective too, like, and I'm glad you actually brought that up because there was something that I was forgetting to say, is that this state of play was geared towards Japan. Japan is pretty much Nintendo dominates Japan. When you look at the sales charts, every form of Nintendo Switch, whether it's the Switch One, or OG Switch, the Switch OLED, the Switch Lite, or the Switch 2, those are on top of the charts always. Switch versions of games are always selling in Japan. And in this case, I think that monitor is for the Japanese audience, which is why it's only
It's coming
available.
here though.
Yeah. Well, that's what I say. It's only available in the US and Japan. Those are the only two
Oh.
countries they put that in. And I think it's because like in Japan, house space is a lot smaller and closed, so that's probably what
Yes.
they went with, like a smaller
Yes.
form factor
1
with the
million percent.
27-inch. Like they're not gonna put a 32-inch probably in the space that they have. Having the charging cradle is probably more efficient too, because you have a small desk space, you can just set it right there, so it's not taking up a lot of desk space. But I agree, like IPS maybe is for costs, right? To keep it pretty cheap because Japan's yen is nowhere near as powerful as the dollar. So I think like they try to keep things cheap. That's why there's also a Japanese variant of the PS5 launching as well that's also cheaper than the versions that we get. And same thing, it's region locked. Nintendo Switch 2 also has the same thing. There's a Japanese version of the Switch 2 that's also region locked. That's a lot cheaper than the Switch 2. So I think there's probably a lot of factors in terms of why they announced that and why that's the case when it comes to that monitor. That being said, I am interested. I agree. I just don't understand why not 4K. 1440p is probably for pricing. That's the only thing I can think of, right? Not giving an excuse. I wish it was 4K. It should be 4K 120 so it can take full advantage of the PS5 and the Switch 2 at that, but it's not, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't,
And then also to the PlayStation digital Japan only thing, they're pulling a Nintendo.
Well, that's the one I was telling you that they did the cheaper version of the PS5.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
missed that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. So yeah, and it's because in Japan, they're trying to grab that market share, which I'm sure that's why they did this to kind of show that they love Japan. Because a lot of people were upset with Sony. They started going more towards the Western audience when what's his name? What's the guy that left? That kind of like
Jim Ryan?
Yes, when Jim Ryan took over, it's like they did a huge focus on the West and they kind of forgot about Japan. They closed Japan studios, and Japan was just kind of like, well, I guess PlayStation is no longer a Japanese company, so they kind of moved on and they're trying to recapture that audience again, which I think is good. It's a start. Now you just got to go ahead and re-release Legend of Dragoon remake and I think and get Lost Odyssey over there since Microsoft's not going to do anything, and I think you'll catch an audience. All right. Going back to that announcement of Horizon. Yeah, Horizon Steel Frontiers. It is a mobile game, an MMO Horizon game that is coming to mobile platforms and on PC through NCSoft's Purple platform, which is basically an emulator that allows you to play phone games on PC. I will say this, it looks pretty cool. It does look pretty good,
But
but
it's not on PlayStation.
it's not on a console. It's technically on PC, but I mean, not really technically because it is just a mobile version. And the other thing about this is it literally looks like a Monster Hunter clone. If you look at the animations, they're straight from Monster Hunter. Like I don't know if Capcom saw this trailer, it was like, "Hey, we need to get lawyers," because they literally have the moves that the hunters do in Monster Hunter. There's one where you literally go ahead and you stab the monster, you jump up, and then you slam down. They had the same exact animation. There's like a montage somewhere. I think it was on YouTube that I saw where they compare all the animations. There are just quite a lot that are straight from Monster Hunter. But it is an MMO. You can you get mounts. You go ahead and hunt I forget what they're called. What are the dinosaurs called? The robots. Do they have a name? Or they're
Yeah.
just robot
Don't
things?
remember.
It's been a long time since I played Horizon, so
I have no
forgot.
idea. I cannot believe I can't remember what the names are.
We'll just
I'm
call
looking
them
it up.
Decepticons, right? Or no, what were they called in Beast Wars? Were they called Decepticons also? The
Yeah,
dinosaur
no,
robots?
in Beast Wars they're called Predacons.
Predacons, there we go. Yes.
Yeah.
We'll call them the Predacons. So you got to fight all the Predacons there, right? This is like a prequel to before the what were they called? Now what was Optimus Primal's people called?
They're called Primals.
Or they're just called Primals? Okay. Before
Yeah.
the Primals came. Man, I can't believe I forgot all that. I used to watch Beast Wars every morning. Love that show. Was amazing.
Hey, can I tell you guys something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about? Just something that
Sure.
I found on the internet because I just got a kind of a random thought in my head that I wanted to investigate.
Sure.
So, spoiler alert for Final Fantasy VIII. Just to kind of put that out there. Spoiler alert.
Okay.
I don't know who is everybody okay with us talking about the ending of Final Fantasy VIII real quick? Like as far as like a spoiler perspective, like did you ever play it?
I'm gonna deafen myself, so you guys go right ahead.
Okay.
Because I want to eventually beat Final Fantasy VIII. So
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I mean, this isn't really like that much a spoiler, but okay. So Squall's, it's heavily implied who Squall's parentage is. James, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Laguna.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So what do you remember who Squall's mother would have been? Do you remember what her name was?
I forgot her name. She was the one that was playing the piano.
Yeah.
And I forgot what her name
Well,
was.
no, that was Julia. That was Julia, wasn't
Oh,
it?
Julia. Yeah. Isn't it Julia?
Well, Squall's mother was Rain.
Who's Rain? I don't remember who Rain is.
Rain was Squall's mother. That's like who Laguna.
Laguna. Yeah.
Can't talk. Yeah, that's who the parentage was, and it's just interesting because it's like it's never stated directly in the game that Laguna is Squall's father. It's like heavily implied because Rain and him were together or a couple or whatever. But it's like Laguna, water, Rain, water, Squall, water. Like that's kind of interesting. I just saw that on Reddit and I never made that connection before. But anyway, let's continue.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I gotta remember who Rain is. I'm gonna search it up after the podcast and see who it is. All right, Ash, you're good to come back. Oh, I don't think he's seen the screen. You come back, Ash. Ash. Anyways, we'll continue with that. Vartera says he believes they're just called machines. Okay, so they're just machines. So we'll say machines here.
Yeah, he's right. The creatures themselves have names, like there's like Thunderjaw and like grazers. Like the animals themselves have names, but there's not like the species is in general doesn't have a name apparently.
Trying to see if Ash is looking. That's why I keep my thumbs up. But maybe text him on the Discord so he can know. So you have the machines there. It's multiplayer. You can join. You get mounts. You can go ahead and hunt the machines together, and it looks good. Like graphically speaking, it looks really good for a mobile game. That being said, though, when it comes to that, I just don't. How can I put it? I don't know why it skipped like PS5. Like Genshin Impact, for example, is a mobile game. You have that on PS5. You have that on mobile. You have it on PC. Why can't they do the same thing with this game? Like do native PC versions on native PS5. I feel like that's a missed opportunity. And that's not the only mobile game they announced. They also announced Ratchet and Clank Ranger Rumble, which also looks like another game that I've seen before. On Apple Arcade, there's this game called like Beast something. I forgot what the actual name is. It's Beast something. And basically what that game is, it's like a 3 versus 3 match where you have like different characters that have different like classes and you fight each other. This it's looking basically exactly the same. You kind of like I don't know if they're created characters. They look like they're created characters. I don't know if you guys could send shine some insight. But it looked like they're created characters, and then you kind of just do I think it's 3-on-3. I mean, it looked like 4-on-4 at one point, but I'm not sure if it's 4-on-4 or 3-on-3 matches. Also, mobile only. There is no PC version through emulation or anything like that at all. Technically speaking, you can play it through a Mac using iPhone mirroring or on a PC using like BlueStacks or any of those other Android emulators. but they finally have started their mobile initiative, and they're kind of going forward with it. What do you guys think about that? I assume the silence means, yeah, forget mobile.
Yeah, I don't know. Got nothing.
Did you guys see the Horizon Steel Frontiers trailer at least?
I saw
Yeah,
pictures
I
of
saw
it.
What do you think of the
Yeah,
trailer?
it looked like Monster Hunter Rise with the
Oh, with the hook
wire
shot?
zip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I call
with
it
the
hook
little
shot, but whatever you wanna
flylight
call it.
thing, whatever
Mhm.
they're called.
There's some cool stuff though. Like there's a dev
Yeah,
I don't know what you call it, like a dev story or whatever you want to call it, where they see like the pterodactyl looking bird thingies, whatever they're called, and he kind of like zips onto it, uses like the hook shot, whatever you want to call it, onto it, and it just grabs it and mounts on it, and it flies around. I think that's pretty cool. It looks interesting. It's just I'm not gonna play that on mobile, and I get it. Like, there's probably a lot of people in Asia because they play a lot of games on mobile. They'll probably play it. I'm not. Let me play it on this. I wouldn't mind. Like, I have this for a reason, right? Now that it downloads at full speed, I'll use this. Or bare minimum, this guy. Oh shoot! I thought I turned it on. But yeah, that's PlayStation going through a different.
That's a good segue.
Yeah, different times for PlayStation. Almost seems like they're desperate. But like you mentioned, segue. Valve. I think Valve's about to shake things up big time, in my opinion. Some people are saying, no, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I think it's a big deal. I think it's actually a really big deal. And it's the shakeup that we needed in terms of the gaming industry in general. Because Nintendo's on top. PlayStation is, somewhere around there as well. Xbox is just nowhere. Like they're too busy fighting TikTok and trying to figure out like their own things over there. Like I don't even know what Xbox is doing. They're just mad at the world right now. But Valve, on the other hand, they're kind of like, hey, you know what? We heard you guys like Steam Deck, so we're gonna give you some more Steam Decks. And that is, we are getting the Steam Frame, which they announced, the Steam Controller, and what I'm most excited about, the Steam Machine. The Steam Frame is a VR headset, basically, that can stream your games from your PC or Steam Deck directly to there. It has a Snapdragon Gen 3 processor built into it, which means that it can actually play some of your PC games on there. A lot of people are speculating it's through, I forgot what the name of it. There's an Android
it's called
application.
Fex.
What is it called?
Well, they said it in the thing. It's because you know how they have Proton.
Yeah.
For the Android, for the translation layer to like play the PC games on a
ARM-based
mobile
system.
ARM-based CPU. It's called Fex.
Okay. So a lot of people were speculating that was the case, because there's an app called Winlator. There we go. I
Winulator.
could say,
Yep.
And basically that kind of it's the same thing. It's a translation layer that makes those games compatible, so you can play like Hollow Knight or Silksong directly on an Android device like a Metroid Pocket, for example, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's neat because with the power of the Snapdragon Gen 3, which is very capable, you can play games like Sea of Stars, right? Or Dragon Quest 3. I think that would be able to handle Dragon Quest 3, no problem. You'll be able to play that through the Steam Frame. Now, personally, I'm not excited for the Steam Frame. I'm probably gonna pass. But what about you guys? Is that something you think you're gonna pick up? I know you said earlier, fan, you are.
Yeah, that's gonna be more of my thing.
Yeah. Tell us why.
Because
Why
I
are you
have
excited?
I have a VR headset. I have a VR headset.
Which
I don't
one?
use it much because I'm freaking corded to my PC, so I don't have a lot of like freedom to move around.
Mhm.
So this fixes all of my concerns. Because I was gonna save up and get a Valve Index.
Which one do you have right
That's
now?
like $1,000. I have it's called an HPG2 Reverb.
Okay, I know which one that
It was
is.
like a version 2 version that they came out. I bought it on eBay for like a couple $100 because it was, they were going like on like a sale on them, and it works great. Works perfectly fine. I don't, I have some issues sometimes, but not very often. But the fact that I'm just like corded is a pain in the butt. Because it would be nice if I can just walk into my living room and just play a VR game in my living room. Now I can, because I can just stream it
Yeah.
to my headset.
I'm gonna put up the
So that's-
specs here.
So, I'm excited for 2 out of the 3: the frame and the controller.
That's
I'm
so
also
interesting
excited.
because I'm excited for the controller and the machine because
Same here.
I have a PSVR 2,
Mhm.
which if we get to what we've been playing, I could definitely talk about that a little bit. But it's like what I like about PSVR 2 is that you can hook it to PC. So I kind of have because it's a solid piece of kit as far as VR goes. So it's kind of like I have something that can cross between PlayStation and PC. So I mean unless the frame does something like really well, like it is like beyond better VR, like I won't pick it up because I have something that can do cross platform, which just seems a bit more efficient.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I bet it's gonna be great, but I'll pass on that. We can talk about the next thing.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm looking at everything it has here. So, part of it's like marketing. It's, designed for VR and non-VR gaming. So like you don't have to use it only for VR, which is kind of cool. So it's kind of like what you have the virtual glasses. You can kind of do the same thing here with that where you can just stream a game in, I guess, 2D, and you just have a big screen on your head, which I think is pretty neat. They also are saying like they have a wireless adapter that has like 2 radio signals. So there is a dedicated radio signal just for the VR headset, which is supposed to make it so that like there's basically almost no latency and you get a high quality streaming experience, which I think is pretty neat. I've said this a couple of times. I don't think I've said it on the podcast much, but I've told other people that I find it weird that the best streaming device that we had, the best version of remote play we've ever had, was the Wii U. Because between the Wii U gamepad and the Wii U, there was like almost like no latency whatsoever. And it's still the best version that we have of remote play till this day. Not, remote play itself on PS5 is not as good. Like it's still good, very good. It's just not the same latency that you get there. Sometimes like you get some little like stutters, but I never got that on the Wii U at all. So I'm actually curious to see how that will work. This also has like the PlayStation VR, the PSVR 2. It has the eye tracking, so it only renders like what you're looking at, which is pretty neat. And I think that's a cool way to kind of like conserve performance in general, so that it's just rendering what you're looking at. Um, what else is there? See, this is the camera tracking. I don't know exactly what that is. Just says jump right into games. Oh, okay, that's weird. It says who wants pancakes? I'm not exactly sure what that means. Um, I guess it's talking about the display.
The lenses on
yeah.
the frame are
Oh,
pancake-like
okay.
lenses.
Pancake lenses. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it says 2160 by 2160 LCD panel, one per eye, supported refresh rates of 72 to 144 hertz, which I think the VR2 is 120 hertz, right? Each, or is that higher than that, Bryant? Since you're the PSVR 2 expert.
I think you're right. I know that they're HDR. I know that they're OLED. I don't remember what the refresh is. I'll say it's probably 120.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's 120.
Okay.
And Valve did the same thing what the PSVR does is the eye tracking. So that way it only renders what you're looking at.
Mm-hmm. The
Which is
VR,
smart.
the VR controller. I don't know if it has like the Steam Frame controller, I guess you would call it. Are pretty much like traditional like controllers, which is kind of cool. They had using TMR thumbsticks.
They did. There's a strap like attachment you can do, which gives you like finger like movements similar to the Valve Index controllers.
Mm.
So that's like an add-on that you could get for it, which I think is interesting.
Oh yeah, it looks like batteries are like double A's.
Mhm.
That's kind of cool. You don't
Yeah,
see
the fact that it's just one AA is amazing.
that. Yeah, that too. Uh,
Normally those controllers you have like 2 or 3.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's that. Moving on to the Steam controller. The Steam controller, like Brian said, or I think all of us here are super excited about the Steam controller. I think when it comes to like controllers, Valve did a really good job with its layout, especially on the Steam Deck. In the beginning with having the thumbsticks like inward and then having like a D-pad and then the face buttons outward, I was like, I don't know how cool that is. But this was actually a good layout, and the trackpads, especially for PC, are kind of like a must. Like sometimes you might boot up a game and you have to go ahead and it has like a launcher and you have to use a mouse cursor to go ahead and select like to play the game. So the trackpad is a must for PC gaming, and I like that with the new Steam controller, it's basically what you have here. You have the two trackpads, you have a D-pad, you have face buttons, you have the thumbsticks. The thumbsticks are actually better than what we are getting on the Steam Deck. They're TMR thumbsticks, which are an evolution of basically Hall effect sensors, a little bit better overall. You have your triggers, your bumper buttons, and then of course the back buttons, your L4, L5, R4, R5 buttons, which some people might not use, but if you do go ahead and use like emulators such as like Emu Deck that installs a bunch of the emulators, these are kind of pre-configured. So if you're playing a DS game, for example, you can switch your view. Sometimes you press and hold it and it does other things like save states and all this other stuff. So I'm actually super excited for the Steam controller. I can't wait for that because one of my biggest issues with like docking my Steam Deck and using, let's say, a DualSense is the mouse movement. And you can go ahead and configure the DualSense for the trackpad to be a mouse, but it's not as good as the trackpads on the actual Steam controller. The Steam controller does have HD rumble as well. They specifically say HD rumble, so you're gonna have nice HD haptics on there. They kind of like what you get on the Steam Deck, where if your thumbs are on the thumbstick, they enable gyro, so they have sensors on there, but also the grips have a sensor as well. So you can enable gyro just by holding the grips, which I think is pretty cool. Like there is a lot of technology in the Steam controller, and it's just way better than the initial controller in general, because the initial controller was not the best. But yeah, I am beyond excited for this controller, and I can't wait to grab it. I'm definitely hopefully the Steam machine comes with one. Because if the Steam machine comes with one, then I'll just buy another one. But if not, then I'm probably gonna buy a couple. The cable that has the transmitter also supports wireless charging. So it basically has like a little like dongle that's USB-C that you plug it in there. That's the transmitter. But you can also charge the controller wirelessly that way by just popping it right on top of there, which I think is pretty cool. It's also the controller itself has a USB-C port, so you can charge it that way, or you can connect it to a computer and just have a wired controller there. I
And
think
it can
it's
handle up to
Mhm.
4 controllers for 1 transmitter.
Oh, I didn't know that. That I didn't know. That's
Yeah,
pretty
you didn't know
cool.
that?
No,
Yeah,
I didn't.
they talked about it. If you listen, there's a Adam Savage, his like YouTube channel.
Yeah.
They had the Valve guys there, and they're talking about how you could that one puck can handle 4 controllers at once. And they tested it where they actually had 4 pucks on one PC. So technically, you could have 16 controllers on one computer.
Oh, that's crazy. I don't know of any game that supports that many players on. I guess FIFA or something like that. Technically speaking, you could do
Yeah.
it for that.
That, or if you emulate like Smash and like do 8 players.
Yeah, you can do 8 players on there. What else? I think that's pretty much everything when
I
it
mean, the
comes to
Steam
the
machine is full.
controller.
I mean, technically, you could build one now if you really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, it's all AMD parts.
Mhm.
Like, so everything's available. You could basically build a Steam machine. I think the only thing you wouldn't be able to do is the what was it? The wake, where like your computer will wake up the monitor, like
Yeah.
because the HDMI have like there's like a certain protocol that does like eARC where like once it turns on your TV or your monitor as well.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing you can't do on a regular computer
Mm-hmm.
because they don't have that like protocol built into it. Typically, that's for like receivers or like DVD players and whatnot like that. So I think that's the only thing you wouldn't be able to do with a self-built Steam machine because they taught that Valve had to like custom make that HDMI port to work to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of neat technology in the Steam Machine. The biggest thing that I think is a takeaway from that is that it's a 6-inch cube, so it's 6x6,
Yeah.
which is pretty small. That's
Yeah.
kind of cool that they got that form factor going on, and they show kind of the insides of it. I was watching Digital Foundry's video where they show the insides, and it has like a giant heat sink on the top to help keep it cool. The exhaust is on the back, and then at the bottom is where all your IOs are, which is pretty neat. So they have micro SD card slot. You have an HDMI slot. It's a 2.0 slot,
Yeah.
which was crazy because I thought it was 4K 60, but then
Yep.
they actually there's a video of them saying that it actually supports 4K 120.
Yeah.
Because what they're using apparently it's not, how can I put it? It's not
It's
guess
not certified.
yeah, it's not certified for
2.1.
2.1, but it
They
supports.
can't say it's 2.1 because it doesn't have all the features of 2.1.
Correct. Which I thought was kind of interesting because right away I thought, okay, so it doesn't do like 4K 120, but no, it does. And I think through HDMI it would also support like VRR because like some TVs they won't support VRR unless you have a 2.1 connection, right? Like the PS5 to a TV has to be through an HDMI 2.1 or else it won't support it at all. So I think that's kind of cool there. It also supports DisplayPort 1.4. You have a gigabit Ethernet port as well. One thing that they kind of like made a big deal out of is the Bluetooth 5.3 connection. There is a dedicated module, so it's not built in. A lot of the times what happens is your Bluetooth module is also your Wi-Fi module.
Wi-Fi module.
So they're like kind of all in one. In this case, they do have separate modules, which is nice, meaning you're going to get better connection overall, less latency when it comes to that. They are saying
Yeah.
this
And I think repairability will probably be a big thing.
yeah, that is true. If something were to go wrong, it'll be easy to go ahead and fix. 4K gaming at 60 FPS with FSR. That's exactly how they're marketing it, meaning that in order to get 4K gaming at 60, not for every game, but for a lot of games, you will have to utilize FSR, which I'm okay with. When it comes to just like overall specs, it says it's a custom AMD Zen 4 6-core 12-thread CPU up to 4.8 gigahertz 30-watt TDP. And then the GPU is semi-custom AMD RDNA 3 with 28 Qs, 2.45 gigahertz max sustained clock at 110-watt TDP. A lot of people were referencing that it looks like it's like 7600 MXT, which is like a laptop grade GPU. I don't know how the performance is with that, but they're saying it's somewhere around like Xbox Series S level, maybe a little bit more powerful than there, but that's where they're wavering the performance when it comes to the Steam Machine. 16 gigs of DDR5 RAM and 8 gigs of GDDR6 VRAM, which is video RAM. And yeah, I think that's kind of like the big things about it. It has an integrated 2.4 gigahertz Steam controller wireless adapter, which is pretty neat, meaning that you don't need that adapter plugged in to the Steam Machine itself. It has it built in, so you can just go ahead and link it there, which is pretty cool. HDMI 2.0, it says up to 4K at 120 hertz, supports HDR, FreeSync, and CEC. That's through the HDMI port, which I think is pretty cool there. Yeah. Oh, the LED strip. The LED strip, I think, is a pretty neat touch. With the LED strip at the bottom, if you're downloading a game, there's like a progress bar. So as the game is downloading, you can see the progress bar on the LED strip, which is cool. But all of that is also customizable. So you can go ahead and have an like LED light show or whatever the case might be. Also, the front plate is magnetic and can be replaced. You can also take it off all the way, and there is that ventilation there. So if you want like better airflow for whatever reason, you can do that as well. I assume because some people can like overclock probably the CPU and the GPU, so you can probably get maybe better performance, which I would assume that these are probably being overclocked anyways. And yeah, that's it. What's your guys' thoughts on the on everything? I'm excited for the Steam Machine and the controller. Like, if the pricing is good, which I think the pricing for the Steam Machine is gonna be around $500 to $600. I'm betting on $600. I'll buy it day one. If it's anything higher than that, I think it's gonna be a pass for me.
So
I feel like it's gonna be more than 600.
You think so?
Yep.
Wait, before I start though. Wait.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, fam. My bad.
Well, no, I just and because they talked about how they're not going to try and subsidize it, how they did with the Steam Deck, where they're like trying to make all their money off of software. So we're talking about like these are PC parts,
Hmm.
they're not going to be able to like cut as much costs. So pricing wasn't confirmed, but it's not going to be like, you know, the deal that we all wish would be. I think it'd probably be more than $600, to be honest.
Hmm.
It'd probably be like PS5 Pro pricing.
If that's the case, it's a hard pass for me. What were you gonna say, Ash?
Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the thing, but did I miss anything while I was gone? Like miss any topics that you guys talked about?
We just talked about Horizon, Steel Frontiers, the mobile game announced, and Ratchet and Clank
Oh,
mobile game.
oh, okay. Okay, I ain't worried about that. Cool. Anyway, oh yeah, so about the Steam Machine, the only so I do have a video coming out tomorrow at noon, me talking about the Steam Machine, and I guess the biggest question for me from that reveal is how much is it really going to cost? Because I feel like if it's at $500, 500 to 600, that'll be like a nice competition pricing versus the actual other consoles and stuff. Because that'll be like the lowest barrier to entry for anybody that wants to get into PC gaming and stuff. And I'm really hoping for that. But if it's going to be PS4 Pro pricing, that's going to be a really, really hard sell. That's only be going towards like enthusiast people like me, you, or anybody else that wants to further mess with this machine, right? The way I see the Steam Machine, like, I mean, they literally call it a PC, which for me, when the first thing I thought of when looking at the Steam Machine is like, damn, this small little cube can literally be my media server if I wanted to. Right, and it can be multiple different things. You can do, you can use Blender to make your 3D models and everything. You can do whatever you want with it, right? And
it's a Linux system.
Yeah,
you have to remember.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's Arch Linux technically, but it's like I'm really hoping they're willing to compromise on the pricing a little bit, at least maybe $550 as a middle ground or something, because I don't know what their aim is. Like, if they're aiming to like sell a lot of units of this, then I don't think it's a good idea for them to even like price it similar to like the PS4 Pro or something like that. You know, especially if Digital Foundry already confirmed that the performance is going to be like slightly above a Series S, which is the lower tier version of the Xbox Series X. You know, so it's just at that point, what are you selling about this system besides of it being a PC? You know.
I just think with those specs, there's no way it's over $600.
Yeah, same here. And for me, I'm actually more excited about the Steam the Steam controller. I might pick that one up and
build
day one,
a Steam machine.
Yeah, you can.
But the thing is,
but
I'm saying like you could technically buy off the shelf parts, make a Steam machine.
Yeah,
the Steam OS code is already there. The thing is, to make something comparable with those current specs is going to cost more than $600.
Oh yeah, that's true. But the thing is, what I'm saying here is that Steam machine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're not going to try and like take a loss on the hardware because of that. They already
the thing is,
they knew the Steam Deck would sell, and that
the way I see it,
the software.
The thing is, the way I see it with the Steam machine is that it's made for people that don't want to build a PC. It's literally a box where you can just plug and play and go to town with it. Of course, you can make your own Steam machine easily. Yeah. I've seen several machines do that. I've seen several people do that, literally. But this here is more aimed towards more a mixture of enthusiasts and the casual audience. And the thing is, especially for somebody that wants to get into PC gaming, and I feel like if they can price it at $550 or something like that, $550 to $600, that'd be literally the cheapest way to get into it. You know?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. Because I mean, Sony and Xbox are already selling their consoles at a loss as well. And theirs is way overpriced.
Yeah, that's true.
So, if anything, Valve, if they're going to sell it at a loss, it would be very minimal loss, if anything. Because, like Nintendo made barely any money on their Switch. They made money just selling the hardware, but I think they're only making like $20, $30 per unit they sold, which, when you sell millions, it comes out to a lot of money. But if Valve is going to sell the Steam machine at a loss, it can't be too much of a loss to where they can, make this keep going, make a Steam machine version 2. A lot of people already have Steam Decks. So they're going to be like, okay, so what,
Yeah. So it goes back to my question, like, who's it for? And like, I feel like in the long run, I feel like with Valve,
that's why if it's going to go for enthusiasts, like you can't price it at too much of a loss because you're not going to sell a ton of units to make up for that.
So I'm looking at these specs, not specs, but like I'm handpicking like these specs. There's no way it's that, because if you look at the 7600, that's like 250. If you go to buy an RX 7600, that's 250.
You have to, but see, there's again, it's still also custom on a board,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Which will cost
they have
money.
to fit small enough.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Zen 4 CPU is, with the motherboard, it's probably gonna be another 200, 250.
Let's see, we're looking at, because that's what the 5600.
So right there, you're at $400, and it has SODIMM memory, which is hot swappable. They did say that. So 16 gigs of SODIMM memory is already $100. And then it's got probably a terabyte 2230, which is like another like $50-$60. And then you've got to take the case into account.
Yeah, so you're looking at that. So let's say 245.
So that's why I don't think it's. I think it's gonna be more than 600, to be honest.
I don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see. I still think it's 600. I don't think like there's. I don't know. I don't see, because they also got to play it smart. If it's definitely more than that, unless they don't care about selling units, then they can price it that way.
There's got to be a reason behind it, because like again, I'm going back to my original question on like who they're trying to sell this to.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if they can sell it to enthusiast people, they can.
But even like, then, the enthusiasts,
will that even benefit them?
I was saying the enthusiasts are going to be like,
they're a way smaller demographic compared to the casual audience.
Yeah. And the enthusiasts are going to be like what Fan was saying, like people who go ahead and create a machine up, download SteamOS or Bazite onto it, and they're going to get better specs anyways. Because if you're looking at like $800 or anything around there, you can buy a more powerful PC, maybe not that small of a form factor, but you can still buy a pretty decent gaming PC and put that in your living room, and there you go. You have a more powerful machine altogether. So that's why I don't see it over $600. Because at that point, or even then, like people could just be like, I'll just buy a PS5 Pro, call it a day, or even a Series X. Or even
honestly, go right ahead. My bad.
Okay. I wanted to make sure I got in on this with my thoughts regarding the Steam machine.
That's
so
all we
first
have
of all,
for today. No, I'm just kidding.
See you later, guys.
Yeah. All right. Bye. So first of all, that controller is chonky. That is a chonky controller. That thing is, that's a big boy, and I like that though.
And I got chunky hands. So
yeah, exactly. Because
like the front,
say what you will.
Though, if you look at the back, it has like the Steam Deck thing going on, where
the grips,
like the grips, and then like everything else is.
Yeah, I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying it's a beefy dude. But that's a good thing, because like, I mean, think about this, like the Wii U controller, right? Like even though the thing was a glossy piece of crap Fisher Price tablet, it was still very comfortable to hold and it worked very well. So that could be a similar thing with the Steam controller, where it's like it's not super aesthetically pleasing to look at, but if it's comfortable, like who cares? That's all that really matters. Now, as for the Steam machine, I think there's a few things that kind of come into play here beyond just the raw power and what the cost of it is to buy, and that's the OS. The OS running Steam OS, which at this point you can't really put on a Windows PC in its entirety because it's not made for that right now. Like it might be one day, but it's not really made for Windows compute. It's not made to be like a partition on like a real computer. It just doesn't work that way. Like it doesn't work with NVIDIA GPUs and crap like that. So
it does.
What'd you say?
It does with AMD CPUs and GPUs.
Yeah, with AMD, I said not with NVIDIA though.
I know, but like if you have an all AMD system, then yeah, you can slap the OS on a drive and you're good.
Even still, it's not as seamless as say like Steam Deck. Like I think it still has some issues, but regardless, like it's not totally there. It's not as ubiquitous as a Windows PC, for example, which will just run on anything. So with the advent of Steam Machine coming out, the appeal of it is the simplicity. It's going to be basically a big Steam Deck, and you can do whatever you want with it. And I really appreciate just how minimalist that is. Like it's as minimalist as it is ubiquitous. Like you're gonna be able to do anything with it, but it's gonna have a minimalist OS where the things you want to do with it are as complicated as you want it to be. Like if you want to install Windows as another OS, you could, but that kind of defeats the purpose of having it because that's what's so cool about Steam Deck is it's just so turnkey. It's a very console-like experience, and that's what's so cool about Steam because Steam doesn't cost money to play games online. The other consoles are. Steam has games on killer sales, which I mean, yeah, there's deals and stuff on the other consoles, but nothing like Steam sales. You have your Steam library that's been following you for the last 20 years, which PlayStation is probably the closest thing that comes with that. And the PlayStation 3 ecosystem for re-downloading games you purchase is a joke, whereas SteamOS still functions fantastically from games you purchased 20 years ago. I just think that this thing is a play to get people to really get into PC gaming without overwhelming them with the bloated mess that's Windows. Because like if I could, I would just wipe everything off my Windows computer except for the ability to play games. And that's what I try to do when I get a Windows computer is I try to like go in and uninstall the stuff that I don't care about, that I don't want, but it still has all the Windows junk in it. And I just think it's incredibly powerful that Valve is going to release SteamOS and it's going to have kind of a similar usability as like the Steam Deck, where just you just put it on, and it works. And I just think that it's a very like Dreamcast philosophy in a way, like where Dreamcast like technically ran Windows, but it was a turnkey console, and it was just very gamer friendly, very consumer friendly. It was just this wonderful piece of kit, and that's kind of where I think the Steam machine is going. It's like going in that like Dreamcast mixed with like a Windows PC, like a hardcore Windows PC, and the price. I bet the price is gonna be between. I think it'll be 600 or above personally, just because I could be wrong, but we'll see. But I don't know. I really think this machine is gonna do bonkers. I really do because Valve tried this already, but the difference is that this time they're making the hardware as opposed to when they tried the Steam machine before. It was they used OEMs and it was kind of a mess. And now since they're going to be responsible for what's in the door and outside the door of the system, it gives them a lot of opportunities to like improve it, roll out updates, update the OS, bring new hardware to it, update the hardware, and it's like it's all encompassed in the Steam ecosystem. So I think that's going to be incredibly appealing as well. It's appealing for me. I love that. So I might get one as a secondary console just to like bring up to different rooms of the house that have as a TV to have my library on. And yeah, I think it's great, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you with that. Like the issue with like PC gaming, in my opinion, too, is just that like Windows is just a mess. Like the stuff that's being forced down, the performance difference that I saw that I think you weren't around for this, Brian, but like Fan and Ash remember when I decided to upgrade to Windows 11 just to see what it was about. I did take a performance hit, and it was noticeable just for upgrading to Windows 11 because of the stuff that they force down you, and then they continue to force stuff down you that eats up a lot of just resources, such as Copilot and all that stuff. And
It's just so bloated.
Linux, it is. It's a lot of stuff there that's just in there that you don't need or don't want, but you're like forced to have that there running at all times. And it's been getting worse over time. It's been getting a lot worse over time. Where SteamOS is amazing. Like if SteamOS, well, it is standalone right now. You can install it, and I think it's a great operating system. And I love like Linux. If we can get to that point where they can fix, maybe it's not fixing, but where they can somehow convince like game developers
world.
to enable anti-cheat on games such as like Battlefield or Call of Duty or even Fortnite, which Epic they will never do because they're greedy. I think that would be great, and we can start finally moving from Windows to like SteamOS or some version of Linux as a main operating system, which then I would be super excited because I love Linux from back in the days when I went to college. And the first time I remember that, I was doing network engineering, and we installed Linux into one of our first PC builds that we had to do. And then we had to dual boot it with Windows and Linux. And for messing around with Linux on there, I just fell in love with Linux from there on. And I always liked Linux since then. It's just the compatibility was never the best. but as it's gotten more popular, especially thanks to Steam Deck, compatibility has gotten better. Proton is amazing. It's been helping out a lot when it comes to like just playing games on Linux-based systems, which is awesome. It's just there's still certain minor things, not too big, but certain minor things I just wish it did better. And then you have people who are just weird, like the DuckStation dev was like, "Oh, I'm not going to support Linux anymore for no reason." Like it was just a weird thing. Like, come on, a lot of people are on Linux. Why
They
not?
the guy that did XB Play, the remote play app for
Yeah.
Xbox, that got sunset too back in September because I went to
Why?
download it on my Steam Deck and you cannot get it anymore.
Why? I wonder why he did that. Was it the same thing?
It was on the subreddit where he like made an announcement and you couldn't talk about, which led people to believe that maybe Microsoft like put some pressure on him or something like that, and
Possible.
because of like
Yeah.
the Asus ROG Ally X, and people are like, oh, make it open source. He's like, I can't talk about it, but I can't make it open source and stuff. And it's really a bummer because I tried just for the heck of it to try to play a remote play on my phone with like my Backbone controller or whatever. It does not work anymore because it doesn't go through the app, it goes through the website, and it would not connect to my Xbox. And so it's like if I can't get it to connect on my phone with like the official Microsoft client, then
And
what
didn't you
chance
purchase
is
that
this
too?
third party one?
Yeah, and you had
What?
to buy that too, right? Didn't you have to pay like $8 or something for that?
Yeah, I bought it too. Yep.
Yeah. That's kind of like very un-Microsoft. Like,
Yeah.
you've never really heard of them doing stuff like that. That's stuff like Nintendo
Oh.
does.
Oh, you mean like telling him to take it down? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, some people are speculating that they're going to release a client for Steam Deck, which I find it hard to believe because it's like that it's a direct competitor to the Asus ROG Ally X, and that might be one of their main claims. Like, oh, you can remote play on your ROG Ally X, but on the same pain though, they want everybody to play everywhere. So maybe.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like Microsoft wants to play everywhere, right? Just releasing Microsoft an Xbox client on Steam Deck so that you can remote play and just download Microsoft games, and that will get you more Game Pass subscribers because you want Game Pass subscribers. Like, why not? Or Xbox Play Anywhere, whatever the case might be. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to wait to see when it comes to the Steam machine. I'm saying it here. If it's $600, I'm getting it. If it's higher than 600, like if it's $700, $650.
Yeah,
If
that's
it's like
hard to say.
$650 with the Steam controller, then yeah, okay. I'll bite the bullet for the extra 50. But if it's $700 or more, it's gonna be a pass. Like
I think it'll be probably $650, $700.
yeah, like $650.
'Cause-
I'll buy.
Because I've done the like hardware pricing,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's around that amount for
Mm.
that stuff. So I think if they, with production and how many units they'll
Mhm.
make in order, that's probably the cheapest they could sell it at to where they're not making a loss. Or too much of a
Which
loss.
interview was it that they said they're not gonna sell it at a loss like the Steam Deck? Do you know? Or which like video?
I can't remember. I watched a couple because I watched the Adam Savage one, and I also
Mhm.
watched the Linus Tech Tip ones
Okay.
and a couple other ones. But someone made a comment where like, with they're not going to sell it as cheap as like what they did with the Steam Deck. It's not going to be that same operating model
Mhm.
where they're going to like sell it at a cheap discount, trying to
Yeah.
get hardware out there as much as possible to make all their money off the software. They've got to like keep it reasonable to where they're not going to like kill that whole project altogether.
Yeah.
They don't want to recreate the mistake with what they did with the Steam machines originally. Pretty much, I think is what
Yeah.
it is.
Well, I think that's the thing. Yeah, if you put it too high, it's gonna recreate the issue of Steam Machine, and people are
Yeah,
not
but
gonna
if
buy
you
it.
put it too low and not enough people buy it, then you're still gonna, you
Yeah.
gotta like price it according. And I also think they also said they didn't put a price out yet because they don't know
Exactly what they're gonna do.
the landscape is right now because of all
Yeah,
the
the
tariff and all that
economic
crap that's going on.
realities.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they're like, we can't put a price on it yet.
The
'cause
thing
we
with
don't know
that
what's
too,
gonna-
though, is like
what it
out
is.
of with the tariffs and everything going on, the Steam Deck hasn't like it's still the same
Hasn't
price.
changed.
Yeah,
Same thing
which
with
is
the Portal.
yeah, which is great. Like
Well, I think that's because like certain electronics, I think, have a there's certain products that have a
Exemption.
exemption, yeah, for
Steam Decks are
those
an
certain tariffs,
exemption.
and I think that's what it is.
Maybe.
Right. People in the White House are like, you can tariff everything, but not a Steam Deck.
Yeah,
Please.
Yeah. Oh well,
I mean,
I'm excited.
At some point, I'm gonna get everything.
Yeah.
I'll get a Steam machine. I might not get it day one, but I think eventually I will. I'll get a frame and a controller, and then that way I can be in my living room, play my Steam library, do VR, everything out there, and then I can still come to my office, do it in here. I can kind of just float back and forth.
You can live on the grid, fan.
Yep.
I
kinda do
will
already with the
try
Victor.
out your Steam frame. And if I think it's
how do you
cool
guys
enough,
feel about
I'll
the
get one.
Steam frame? I thought about it. It looks cool.
Fan is the
but
only one here just picking it up day one. That's
day
actually
one.
the two that he's excited for was the Steam frame and the Steam controller.
I'm imagining the Steam frame's gonna cost like a minimum of $1,000 because I feel like the Valve Index was around that price, and I feel like if it's going to surpass the Valve Index, then it has to be more than the Valve Index.
I think it'll probably be around that price. Probably
Okay.
like 900 because the index is about $900.
How much
Yeah,
is
that's what I
the PSVR 2?
Yeah, so I can see about
PSVR 2's they
500?
dropped the price. Isn't it like 350?
What was the original price, the launch price though? Was it like 500?
Was it 5?
that was 500 originally. Yeah,
I think the Steam frame is going to be I think it'll be like $600 or $700 as well.
I think it's 1,000 honestly. Definitely 1,000.
You think so?
Yeah, because it's mainly because of the specs on it. I think Linux Tech Tips was the one that went over the specs, and then when I was looking at like the resolution per lens, I'm like, yeah, that's going to be a minimum at least $1,000. That's going to be like the premium item that they're mainly going to sell along with their lineup and everything. And the fact you can like play almost every game in VR, almost. It's just they have a lot of going on with the Steam frame, and I feel like it's going to be a minimum of 1,000.
yeah, I could see like I could see a range depending on what happens because it's got 256 gigs of storage, but you have the option for a memory card.
Yeah,
it comes with the controllers.
I mean,
everything's kind of built on it.
If they come up with like a lower tier version of the Steam frame, then I can see like the price being lowered and stuff. But for right now, I feel like it's at least a minimum of 1,000, especially if they're trying to surpass the Valve Index. So,
yeah, Steam frame. I'm gonna wait on and
MetaQuest
see
3 for like $500.
Yeah, and it's definitely better than
And
the
then-
MetaQuest 3 for sure.
Yeah, that's why I would tack on like
I think you're
couple
right.
$100 added on
Because
there,
I
so
was
probably like
thinking of
$800.
the what is it? The Galaxy, like the one the AR VR headset that they have going on. I was like comparing like what they have there, and that runs Android, and I think that's like 1,500. So yeah, $1,000 I can see for sure.
Yeah, because Meta had that one, like the one that came out before the Quest 3, that was like
The Quest Pro.
super high end. Yeah, like it was
Yeah,
like
and that was like
super expensive.
1,500 for that or something like
yeah,
that.
it was like $1,500. I remember.
Yeah. What do you guys think the controller pricing is going to be? I think $70.
I'll say 80.
80?
70 to 80 within that range.
$70.
Yeah, if this thing is like, what is it now? 80, I think, with the price
I
jump,
think that's
right?
80.
Yeah, if this is 80, that's definitely going to be around there. So yeah, I
It
can
has
see that.
touchpads on it too. Like that's
Yeah,
not a low
exactly.
tech
Yeah.
controller. Like that's gonna be a piece of kit. That might even be closer to 100, honestly.
Yeah,
That's
it might
true.
be under 100, like 190 around there, 80.
That's true. It has more features technically than a DualSense Edge or a Xbox Elite controller, and those are
Yeah, so yeah,
what, like
those are
130?
130.
Those are $200.
plus
Yeah.
$200.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. It is around $200 for those controllers. Yeah.
Yeah, so it might be $200. It might be 150. Who knows?
Yeah, that is true. Oof, I didn't think about that. I'm still getting it. The controller I really do
Yeah.
like. I do gotta pick up one of those. I'm excited for that. And then this guy will get retired. He's been with me so long.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
For sure, I will be picking up controller day one because
Yeah.
I love the way it feels with the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
The fact they're coming up with a controller for that,
It's so comfortable. I love my Steam Deck so much. I'm never getting rid of it again.
This
And like
controller
I
has
slept
been
on the trackpad
retired.
for so long on the Steam Deck, and then when I finally started using it for like first person shooters, I'm like, wow, that's a game changer.
Feels nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to this guy.
Was that the Stadia?
Yeah, the Stadia, controller. You can probably see all the dust. You see all the dust there. It's just, it just sits in the corner, all the way
Is it
behind.
in the same corner as your
everything.
PS5?
No, the PS5 is actually on the opposite corner. Yeah.
I just meant the dust part.
Oh, the dust part.
Yeah.
Surprisingly,
I was trying to make a
PS5 doesn't
joke.
have
Never mind.
dust.
Never mind.
Yeah, I got the joke.
Thank you. Thanks, Ash.
Well, you said the dust part. I actually wanted to look and see if there's dust, and there's actually no dust on it.
Oh
Surprisingly.
my God.
Yeah.
I was making the joke that you say that you never play your PlayStation 5. So I said, is the controller in the same part of your room that the PlayStation is? Because you never played. Anyway.
I think he played you.
No, they're all in
Yeah,
corners.
maybe.
Like my RG Ally X was in a different corner too that was collecting dust.
Yeah.
They each were in
Yeah.
a corner.
I'm sure. I bet.
Alrighty. Well, I believe we're gonna end the podcast.
What about what we've
on
been playing?
that.
Marcus, what we've been playing?
Sure. We can talk about what we've been playing real quick.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
You go first.
You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Luminous Arise. Luminous Arise came out last week or a few days ago, whatever it was. And I started playing it on my Steam Deck, and I remembered why I fell in love with Luminous so many years ago, because it was a PSP launch game back in, I think it was 05, the PSP came out. And it was considered like the best game on PSP, along with like Ridge Racer and like I think Tony Hawk 2 was on it or something. Like there were a bunch of like pretty decent launch lineup on the PSP back in the day. And Luminous was considered like this addictive Tetris kind of competitor where the sound, the presentation, the gameplay, it was just very addicting, very beautiful. Because at the time, I mean, the PSP had this like beautiful LCD screen that the resolution was really high, and it was just unlike anything that had ever been seen before, really, on a handheld. Because I mean, at the time, the competitor, I guess, would probably have been the Nintendo DS, and there's no way that the Nintendo DS looked better than the PSP. I mean, overall, I mean, the resolutions were different and everything. So Luminous came out and it really kind of set the world on fire. And there have been various iterations of Luminous over the years. They released Luminous 2 on PSP a few years later. That had a lot more licensed music, if I remember correctly. They released a Luminous game on mobile a while back too. I remember I had a Helio Ocean way back in the day, and that had a Luminous game on it that was like okay. And then they had like a mobile version, like for real as well. And then they did Luminous Remastered. I think that's what it was called back in 2000, like 17 or 18 or something like that. That came out on like PS4, Xbox, Switch, all the current consoles. And it was a remake of the first Luminous game. And yeah, they're all great. I bought all of them on multiple consoles. It's just a really great puzzle game. So when Luminous Arise got announced, it's made by the same developers that did Tetris Effect, which is well, I can't think of it now.
I don't remember.
I can't. I should know this off the head. What did you say?
I said I don't remember the developer's name.
Here, I'm gonna find it. Luminous. I always forget it. Arise developer. Enhanced. That's it. They did Tetris Effect. They did Rez. They did that other puzzle game that came out recently. I don't remember what it's called right now. But anyway, when they announced that they were doing that, I was just all aboard because Tetris Effect was just such a fantastic iteration of Tetris. I knew that they were going to do something similar for Luminous, which is just like right up there with Tetris in my view. So Luminous Rise came out. I played it on Steam Deck. I bought it on Steam, and I bought it on PlayStation 5. And I kept just like going in between the two, just playing it on PS5, getting some trophies, playing it on Steam Deck, getting some achievements, playing it on PC, and just ramping up the quality and everything. But then I was listening to the Last Stand podcast, Sacred Symbols, and one of the guys there was talking about how he was playing Luminous Arise on his PSVR 2. And I looked over at my PSVR 2 and all the dust that it was collecting, and I'm like, you know what? This is a perfect excuse to slap on the VR headset and just see what it's like. And man, let me tell you something. I put on that VR headset yesterday, and I started playing Luminous Arise in VR, and it's really transcendent. It really is. You put a couple really good put a good pair of headphones on, you crank the music, you have the video coming through on the headset, the vibration of the controller, you're making things fly all over the screen, and the music's thumping and everything, and you feel like you're inside of it, and it's really it's just really different. It's just such a cool feeling, and it's a similar thing with like Tetris Effect. But with this, it's just, like I said, I haven't played VR in so long that when I started playing this, it was just really cool. And I stopped playing after like an hour or something, and I took off the VR headset and I just started playing it on the TV normally. And it's incredible how not in it you feel when you're playing it on the TV. Because I'm a purist. Like I'll play a game. I like playing games on TV in general, and I always kind of thought as VR is kind of like a secondary, not as good way to play something. But for something like that, like you're in it with the headphones on, the lights are off, you're just watching the screen, all the stuff flying by your face and stuff. And when you take that experience off and you're just watching the TV screen, it feels totally different. It feels like you're a spectator rather than you're inside of the world. And I immediately downloaded a bunch of PSVR games that kind of like inspired me to go back and play some because I own a bunch of them. I just haven't played in a long time. So I downloaded a bunch of PSVR games and I'm gonna maybe try to play some more tomorrow. But hip hooray for VR, man. I'm so glad that Enhance added that functionality to Luminous Horizon because they certainly didn't have to. I mean, nobody's buying a PSVR 2. They've had to drop the price and nobody's buying it, unfortunately. And VR, but that's VR in general. I feel like it's just not a very non-niche market, unfortunately, for a variety of reasons. So that was Luminous Horizon. I can't recommend it enough. 10 out of 10 for sure. I'm also been playing Spyro T Ripto's Rage on
Nice.
PS4 or PS5, and again, loving those games. Just really quaint, fun, happy games to play where you collect gems. Can't beat that. Going through the DLC for Mortal Kombat 1, the story is absolutely insane. I kind of miss Mortal Kombat 2011 and just how simple that was, like a retelling of the first game, and it was very easy to follow. And now this is kind of like Marvel alternate timelines with Titans, and it's insane, totally ridiculous. But it's a ride, whatever. Like I said, I'm gonna try to play some other VR stuff too that I downloaded. Messed around on my Steam Deck a bit. What else have I been playing on my
I
Steam
was
Deck
gonna tell you about
lately?
your Steam Deck. Did you ended up returning it and buying a new one, or what happened with that?
Yeah, so I told you that the LED stopped working on it, and their support told me that they would send me a new one, and I was like, it's going to take too long to get like an RMA replacement. I'll
Yeah.
just put another one on my credit card, and I'll just return my other one, and you just refund me when you get the other one. So I got my new one, and you know what I bought for it that I haven't bought one of these in 10 years. I bought a matte screen protector.
Hmm.
Which I like, I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, like those invisible shields that phones had, they
Yeah.
used to sell like the matte finish ones that was like fingerprint resistant. It made the screen kind of have like a slight haze to it, but I thought that
Yeah.
was a worthwhile trade-off to not have the
Isn't
fingerprints on it.
isn't there a version of the Steam Deck OLED that has that already built in?
Yeah, there is, but that's the thing. Like there is kind of a trade-off with matte with a matte finish, and that it's not as clear, and also the
Yeah.
OLED doesn't pop as much because it kind of adds this kind of like filter to it, so the blacks don't appear to be as black, and the contrast is it's not quite as good. Like for me, having the matte screen on there, it looks like the best LCD screen that is possible in the world. Like it looks beautiful. It doesn't look as good as it plain or with a like a plain glass protector and the straight up OLED, but it looks beautiful. And you know what? I'm like, obviously I hate fingerprints, and I have that matte screen protector on. It just feels so clean. I love it. And so I went out and I bought a matte screen protector for my Switch 2. I threw that on there too. And who knows, maybe I'll even get a matte screen protector for my phone because it's really cool. So yeah, I got my new Steam Deck. This time what I didn't do, after learning about the Steam machine and everything and how you can like bring your games around and stuff, I always was under the impression that when you put a hard drive into your Steam Deck, or the 2280 or 2230, whatever it's called,
Yeah.
those little SSD, and your micro SD card, that it has to format everything when you set up a new Steam Deck.
Yeah.
But I brought it over without wiping anything, and it just loaded all of my stuff from my
Yep.
old Steam Deck. Like I didn't have to do any re-downloading or anything, and I had no idea that it worked like that. So that was really cool to be able to have all of my stuff ready for me.
Yeah.
But yep, so now I have my Steam Deck, Switch, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, there's people that have multiple micro SD cards, and they just swap out the micro SD cards, and they put like a list of what games they have.
That's cool.
Which is kind of cool. I wouldn't do that, but yeah. That's kind of cool that you got a new Steam Deck, because it's funny. I was talking to a fan earlier today. I was like, I wonder what happened with Brian's Steam Deck. He never told us if he got a new one. Did he replace it? Like, what was going on with that? And I heard
I
you
got a new
mentioning
one.
Steam Deck today. It's like, did you end up keeping it? Because that's unlike you to keep something that has like a faulty issue like that.
No, I'm not. So yeah, I told them about it. And they're like, well, we can RMA it and send you another one, or you can just buy a new one. And I chose to buy a new one because I don't want to
Yeah.
wait that long, and
Yeah.
so I returned the old one.
Cool. Ash, have you been playing anything?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I've been like further going into The Last Remnant on the Switch too and stuff.
Nice.
Just so I can just learn more about the game because yeah, this particular game is definitely way different compared to any other JRPG I've played before. Because I mean, it's definitely a tactical JRPG, but like
Mhm.
it literally takes tactical in the literal sense of it. I feel like it's even more tactical than freaking Unicorn Overload or something like that.
Mm.
So, because it's a whole different set of like things you have to worry about, like creating unions, when to initiate the battle, when to get out of a deadlock, what is a flank me, and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of different stuff, and you have to prioritize like weapon upgrading and stuff. Which set of fighters you need to set up because if you're like a beginner like me, it would be advantageous for you to make sure all the fighters are in the same union. So like you can get like 5 people within the warrior class and maybe 1 or 2 when it comes to the healing side. But the biggest rookie mistake is that people like to mix like fighters with mages, which most of the time that does not work out. So yeah, it's a bit of a learning curve, but once you get used to it, you're good. And I feel like how this game will fall short is that like let's say if you want to come back to it and you already forgot everything you did there, it will take you a while to like regain that knowledge again and stuff. So it's the game itself is definitely interesting. I feel like the story is kind of fun because Russ Sykes is a bit of he's a kid that wants to get stuff done, but it comes with a cost where he wants to rush into things and it doesn't really pan out that well for him. Like for a good example, in one of the story missions, Rush and David's group go up to this area because they found some information on where Rush's sister can be at. And literally, when they finally see that there's like 2 antagonists holding his sister, Rush just rushes out of nowhere, like just trying to like save her. But they saw him and they dropped some random monster and they flew away and stuff. And it wasn't a monster; it was actually a remnant that they dropped, so that way they can fight it. But I'm like, Rush needs to further grow up to understand that, hey, listen, everything needs to be a strategy in order for you to win to get the victory and stuff. And I feel like that's pretty much early in the game because when you look at his actual 2D character model, he actually wears totally different clothing and he looks a bit older. So I feel like there's going to be a time skip within the prologue, and then once you're done with the prologue, then you see a whole different Rush at that point. So there's a lot of stuff he needs to learn about himself and the way he fights, this and that, and then I'm looking forward to see that growth. But the biggest part is that definitely do the side quests, definitely talk to every single person that you know, because there will be some really good weapons and really good leaders you can have for your unions and everything. And yeah, I feel like so far this is gonna be one of those games that I have to like dabble in every now and then because like the game itself, it's really, really goddamn long. So I may just make that as like a what you call like a third game I'll play. I'll put like a couple hours into it and then go on to play something else that's more priority, like Clair Obscure Expedition 33. I need to beat that game before freaking the Game Awards or something because I
thought you said you beat it. You didn't beat it yet?
No, not yet, man. Like, listen, I can beat
You
the game right now if I
people.
want to. No, I can beat the game right now.
Just
if I
go
want
do
to.
it. Clean up your stuff later. You can clean it up later. You're not beholden to be in the game and you have to go all the way
I
back.
need to get motivation to get back into the game first, man. And the thing
You're gonna forget everything.
Huh? No, I mean, no, not really, because like I recently played it like about 2 days ago, and I still got it. I'm all right. So,
All right.
But
James, you need to beat it before the Game Awards.
Yeah, I
I
want to
do,
collect
but I also
everything.
want to beat every single Dragon Quest game 1, 2, and 3 before Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined.
I mean, that's valid, honestly.
Well, you got a lot more time for that. That's not until next year. The Game Awards are in less than a month.
Yeah, I don't think Dragon Quest is going to be in the Game Awards next year. So I mean, hey.
No, Dragon Quest 7 will
Thanks
be there, but like I want to. I've been playing. Well, I'll talk about what I've been playing after you're done, Ash. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So there's that game, and then like I mean, I dabble into Clair Obscure every now and then. I'm just trying to like max out all my characters, and so that way I can like beat all the extra content in there. Because I can go straight over there and beat the final boss, but I know for a fact I will never be satisfied with that. So I have to get everything first, and then beat the final boss. That way I can call it a day. And I know they're gonna release some DLC, some like free DLC and stuff. And honestly, since this DLC, I technically don't have to do it, so I can still count my playthrough as like 100% completion for the most part. So, but yeah, that's one thing. And then one more. There was oh yeah, I might go back and play Luigi's Mansion again for 3 hours, and so I can beat it again because that game is so short. I wish there were more games that were hella short, because I can just go in, get all the booze, get all the money, get the big ass mansion again, and beat up King Boo again, and just like do all that shit in 3 to 4 hours and stuff. Heck, I might even do a stream for that just because. So,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
yeah, that's pretty much it from my side. So.
And what about you, Fan?
To be honest, I haven't been playing much. I need to get back into it. I've been just so enamored into my Vitra, just messing around with that. The glasses. But yeah, maybe I'll get back into Expedition 33 and hooking up to the Vitra and just playing
On
it
the
in bed.
glasses. Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, for me, like I mentioned earlier, I've been playing so I've been playing Dragon Quest 1. I love the changes they've done in Dragon Quest 1. It went from a game that I've mentioned multiple times, like this is a game that I love because of the experience. Like it doesn't hold up to today's standards because everything was one-on-one, and it being turn-based, and it's like 1v1. It just didn't make any, like in today's world people were like, yeah, like I don't see it, but I loved it because of what it was. Fast forward to Dragon Quest 1 HD 2D. It's like almost like a totally different game. Like I'm 3 hours in, and everything that I've been doing is all new content. It's not what was in the original game, which is pretty awesome. So there's a lot of stuff in there. There's also a lot of callbacks to Dragon Quest 3, which is pretty neat, which is why I went back and actually started finishing Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D, because there's certain scenes that they show and they call back, and there's certain people you talk to that calls back to Dragon Quest 3. So I was like, shoot. So let me go ahead and finish Dragon Quest 3 to see, because Dragon Quest 3 added some new stuff, and some of the characters that were new in Dragon Quest 3, they like their lineage appears in Dragon Quest 1. So it's like, okay, I gotta go ahead and beat Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D so I can see what they're talking about, because this is a new character, and that character was not in the original Dragon Quest 3 or Dragon Quest 1, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I went back to doing that on my ROG Ally X. Was happy that I finally finished the download speeds. So yes, I can finally use this again and be happy, versus before I was like kind of like hate using it because the download speeds. But yeah, happy about that. Technically speaking, I could have used my Steam Deck to play Dragon Quest also, because it runs amazing on there at full frames and everything, and then the OLED display just makes it look a little bit sharper. Not a little bit sharper, a lot sharper compared to the ROG Ally X's screen. But yeah, those are really the main two things. Of course, on stream, I've been playing Pokemon Legends ZA, really enjoying it, really loving it. Good game. Still don't think it's better than Legends Arceus, but I do like it a lot. The battle system is definitely very, very fun, and I do hope that going forward they use that battle system. At first, I was like, yeah, I miss Legends Arceus battle system. I like the strong style and like the agile style that you can swap between two, which made it a different element. Kind of reminded me of Final Fantasy X in terms of the battle system, because you can kind of like see the turn order if you're gonna have multiple turns in a row or not. But the new battle system they have with Pokemon Legends ZA is really, really good. So I do like that. What else? That's really it. That's all I've been playing. The announcement of the Steam Machine and just like Valve's announcements altogether just got me super excited to kind of go back to my PC handhelds again, because I've been on Switch 2 World and been playing everything on Switch 2, and I love the Switch 2. And I mentioned multiple times this will be my main platform, but the Steam Machine could be a game changer, because then I don't have to always use my gaming PC for stuff. And yeah, I'm excited to see where that goes in the future. And I was playing Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth for a little bit, just replaying it on the ROG Ally X, because there was a bunch of driver updates on the ROG Ally X that I've missed, and there's some new GPU driver updates, and it actually runs a little bit better now, without like any stuttering, which is kind of cool, at 60 FPS. With frame gen, of course, enabled, and then FSR enabled through the AMD thing. So, but it runs at 60 FPS, and it still looks, great at what it is. So, I'm enjoying that. And the last thing I actually wanted to mention real quick, Ash, have you messed with Decky frame gen on the Steam Deck yet?
Yeah, I was one that told you about it.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, no,
Yeah,
were
yeah,
you the one that
it's
told me about
a
it, or I thought somebody? I could have sworn I saw
yeah,
it through a
it
video.
was a long time ago. I told
Okay.
you about it when it first came out, and then you and the way you responded, it was more you're a bit skeptical about it because you say you did look into it a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems that it wasn't made by the actual Decky people and stuff, so that's why you were a bit skeptical about it. But I did try it a couple of times in the past with certain games. The first one I tried was Stellar Blade for the demo, and it worked pretty decently. But you can still feel the weird latency on it sometimes, So it just really depends on what game you're going to be using it on. When I finally start Metaphor ReFantazio again on my Steam Deck, I'm going to try Dicky Frame Gen off of that and see like how well it does for that. If anything, it's just like a hit or miss for the most part. It's not going to be great for every single game you play.
Yeah.
So,
I gotta get that
but
game
while you
too.
ask, have you been using Decky Frame Gen on most of your stuff? Or?
No, I just saw a video that they're adding FSR4 support. And I know Digital Foundry did a video and they were comparing some games, and some games got, anywhere from 10 to 15 extra frames, which is pretty incredible. To use that.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's like a hit or miss
Mhm.
with it for the most part. If anything, I think for a good test, download the Stellar Blade demo on your Steam Deck.
Mhm.
Or on your ROG Ally. I just realized.
Yeah.
Wait, you have Steam Deck?
Yeah. I have both.
Oh yeah, both.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
I've
course.
showed it multiple times during today's stream. I have it right here.
Yeah, my bad. Anyway,
I got them both.
yeah, download the Stellar Blade demo on your Steam Deck, and then run the the Dicky from off of that, and see what you think. Because I feel like that's a good litmus test on what's to come.
This is just so much more comfortable than the ROG Ally X. Like, I have to buy a grip for this because technically speaking, like if I'm holding it down here, it's not too bad. But when I'm in bed and holding it, this is way more comfortable. This here, like my hands start hurting. So I'm buying a grip for my ROG Ally X, hopefully soon.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
For Steam Deck, shoot, I've been having too much fun just streaming stuff from my Steam Deck from my old gaming laptop because I didn't realize how much more OP that will be. And along with that too, I mean, I even like mix it in with some NVIDIA GeForce Now stuff. And like, well, what they have is that if you just don't want to use the whole thing for a month, you can like get like a day pass for like Ultimate and like get like full on top of the quality, top of the line machines to stream to your Steam Deck essentially. So it's like this thing can like do almost anything I want. I can stream some games, I can run some emulation, run some games natively. It's just the only thing that it can't do is run games that requires the kernel anti cheat, and that's it. That's the only limitation it has.
Or run Monster Hunter Wilds.
Yeah, poor Brian.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream on that note. I appreciate everybody for joining. As always, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Follow over on Twitch. We'll be back next Sunday. Hopefully, there's a bunch more surprise announcements that come through this following week. Game Awards coming soon. The
announcements are coming tomorrow, so that we could maybe go through that next week and like do our picks and like keep score and all that stuff.
Yep, we definitely will be doing that. And of course, like we've done years before, we definitely are gonna live stream that and take a look at that and see.
I already took off.
You already took off? Nice. So we'll definitely be having that done.
When is it?
Thursday.
December 11th.
Yeah. It's a Thursday. Yeah.
Got it. All right, I keep that in mind.
Yeah, Thursday, December 11th. I think it starts at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. our time, something like that.
It'll be tricky for me since
I don't want to hear it, Ash. You have 3 weeks to get it done.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of people in my company like to take off a lot of days in December, so it'll be a bit tricky for me. So,
yeah. All right, cool. Brian, where can I catch you at?
I am at red_so_deep on Twitter.
What about you, Fan?
You can catch me at Phaneckswhy at all the socials.
And Ash?
You can catch me at Asher Strong on YouTube. I already got a video up about the Super Mario Galaxy trailer, and I'm also gonna have a video up tomorrow about the Steam Machine at 12 p.m.
Awesome. And as always, catch me right here at the Random Encounter. We'll be back next Sunday. Next Friday, we'll continue my Pokemon Legends ZA stream. Probably finish it up. I'm towards the end. I just have like one rank to go, and then of course the final bosses, and then that's it. And then after that, I don't know what I'm gonna stream afterwards. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thank you, Fan. Thank you, Ash. Thank you, Bryant. We'll catch you guys next time.
Expedition 33.